Loan Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Harbor Freight knows time is money, so for our Spring Black Friday sale, we're getting straight to the deals. This weekend, you get 35% off jack stands, 56-inch roll cabs under $800, and 2,300 PSI electric pressure washers under $190. See? Straight to the point, so you can get straight to the savings. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until April 13th, 2025 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring correctional officers statewide. Benefits include a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and health insurance. That's right, a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and health insurance. Explore a career in criminal justice and learn what it actually involves. Looking for dedicated people with integrity and compassion who are interested in a stable and rewarding career. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs. dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I'm gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees.
I got 30 seconds.
I haven't been able to play
the new opens
years.
run.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Cool. QC Kinetics, 82. Station ID's hitting in 10.
Okay.
That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingles studio, WPEK Fairfield, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Live from the Ingles studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the best on see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go around the world on the iHeartRadio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. I am coming to you live from the Ingles studio. He is live from the NFLDraft.net. Mullet Manor is another day closer to the 2025 NFL Draft. Jeremy Green, and we got a new computer.
It's not just Mullet Manor. It is the freshly wired, the no sleep, the new intros, the new cutscenes, the new everything. It's very Asheville-centric. We've always wanted to do, on the YouTube, have more Asheville-based things. So now if you watch us on the YouTube, you'll see a bunch of stills that we have from around the city. There's the Jeff Bowen Bridge. There's the Biltmore House. There's some pictures from downtown that we've just accumulated over the years, and everything, cross your fingers, appears to actually be working. Which,
yes, indeed,
after yesterday, was really, really needed.
Don't forget, you can check us out on the YouTube stream. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. You also can send in super chats, which, support the program and the cause here. And we already got one from Red Sea.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
And Red Sea says, I'm first today, Sir Jimothy. Go Gators. I think Sir Jimothy may still be hungover from the Gators win last night. I have not seen him in the chat just yet, but he is a resident Gators fan, and the Gators winning the national title for the third time in school history last night with a win over the Houston Cougars. Jeremy, how many minutes?
Did I watch?
Yeah.
0. Yeah. Never even turned it on.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I did pull up the Gamecast at one point. And that was with 46 seconds left before Houston turned it over twice to just the funniest part of that is Houston out-duked Duke. Good for you.
Mm-hmm. They did. The collapse of the Houston Cougars and the fact that they couldn't even get a shot off on that last possession was just dumbfounding. Was that L.J. Cryer that was trying to take the game-winning shot? And he tried a pump fake and got up in the air and realized, oh, no, I should have faked instead of getting off the ground. And then he couldn't shoot it. And he just threw it at his feet like, I can't touch it again. I can't come down with it. And there was nobody there to pick it up except for the Florida Gators.
I French fried when I was supposed to pizza, and I did indeed have a bad time.
Yes. Yes, he did. Kelvin Sampson once again falling short there at the end of the season.
He's like Frank Costanza.
Man, he's gotten so close so many times. Losing in Final Fours, losing in championship games. Maybe one day it'll happen for him.
He's like Frank Costanza. That's his move. Hey, I stopped short. If you're a Seinfeld person, you know that was funny. Mm-hmm. Tank, on the other hand, does it like fun and didn't have any clue what I was talking about right there.
No clue. No idea.
Patrick Holt enjoyed it. I promise. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him comment yet, but I know it's coming.
I haven't. I'm guessing that's George's dad.
Yes. Oh, my God. How do you not know that? I mean, like, if you didn't know the reference, okay. I mean, it's one of the top 25 scenes in the history of that show. But to not know that was his dad, that just makes me angry.
Wait, was that Jerry Stiller's character?
Yes. That's right. You even know him.
Okay.
Or knew him. Yeah. I think he's passed away now.
I did. Oh, he's long passed. Yes. Yeah, no, I met Frank Costanza once. I didn't know that was his name, but, you know. He's just Uncle Jerry to me. That's all. Anyhow, today is another day closer to the NFL draft, as I said. And we are going to begin the draft needs, the A-plus mock drafts for each and every team in the league. We're not going to get to all of them today. As you all know, we're not capable of making that kind of time commitment. So we're going to do the AFC East, and we'll do the NFC East today as well, and this is what we'll do for the remainder of the week. Rolling through every division in football. What do you need in the draft, and how do you knock this draft out of the park? So, Jeremy, we start with the AFC East, and we'll go in draft order here. So the team drafting closest to the top of the draft for the NFC East is the New England Patriots. So what do the Patriots need to do to absolutely kill this draft and make armchair commentary happy?
Well, the way that all of these will work is that we'll spend a few minutes talking about the draft needs, and then we'll go through what I call this the most laborious thing I do all year, because I go through in a vacuum and look at my board and go, what is the best way that you could come out of this draft, filling all of your needs, getting players that fit your scheme, and we will do that at the end. And New England is a team that actually didn't have to make a trade to do that. I've had less trades this year than usual.
Mm-hmm.
But look, New England's got to come out of this draft first and foremost. I don't care how you feel about his arms. I don't care how you feel about his feet. I don't care how you feel about his eyeballs or his ear holes. You have to come out of this draft with a left tackle, and there's really only one that makes sense. And you know who it is.
Will Campbell.
It's Will Campbell. This has been like the worst kept secret in all of mock draftery. Okay, let's just in theory say they like Travis Hunter better. Where does he play?
Mm-hmm.
Your cornerback room is set. Carlton Davis, Christian Gonzalez, and Marcus Jones. You're good there. You have way too many needs to be taking a What I would say is a luxury in Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the better player. I also don't think he should be there, but that's a whole nother level of chaos that I haven't wrapped my brain around yet. So we're not there yet. New England's got to have a blindside protector. All right, Vidarian Lowe. I'm gonna ask you just a couple of questions, and I want to see how close you can get to this. Tank, you understand how PFF grades work, right?
Yes.
So it's on a scale of 100.
Kinda.
It's on a scale of 100. Anything above an 85 is elite. Anything above a 70 is a starting level player in the NFL. Anything above a 60 is backup level. Anything below a 60 is BADD, bad. Vidarian Lowe is the active starting left tackle for the New England Patriots right now. His PFF grade last year was a what?
28.
Okay, it doesn't go that low.
It wasn't
if
that
you
low?
put this is kind of like the SATs. You get about, I would have said 40 points before I got to this particular profile. You get basically 40 points for putting your pants on the right way and not pooping in them. So, Vidarian Lowe.
Let's go 48 then.
He was a 54.
Okay.
That is 13 points higher than he has ever been in any other year he's played in the NFL. And that wouldn't be that sad, except this will be his fourth.
It just shows he's getting better.
I've never seen a 35 before. A 35 is new. I mean, I honest to God thought you got 40 for showing up and put your jersey on the right way. Nope. He's terrible. I mean, you will literally get Drake May killed if you plan on having him on the left side, because you got to look at what's in that division. The Buffalo Bills just added Joey Bosa. The Miami Dolphins are flush with pass rushers. Maybe the best group of pass rushers in the NFL. To the point of I've heard they could trade Jalen Phillips around the draft. That's how good they are at edge rusher. The New York Jets have a slew with Jermaine Johnson coming back. Will McDonald. I think they're probably going to add one over the course of the draft. You can't stick Drake May back behind this because your weapons aren't that good. It's one thing if you've got 5 high flyers that can keep that blitz from coming because I'll kill you deep. If the running back can pick up in blitz protection, I can kill you deep. You can't do that. You don't have a receiver on this roster that really, honest to God, scares anybody. And before you say Stephon Diggs, I want you to understand he was at best the third best receiver for the Houston Texans last year. So I don't think that's really instilling great fear in teams across the NFL. So you've got to get a left tackle at some point. That's your biggest need. My needs go red, yellow, green, as I explained yesterday. Red is pressing, must be addressed in the first 2 days of the draft. Yellow is I'd like to get to it in day 2. If it falls to day 3, then so be it. Green is a luxury. For the New England Patriots, left tackle is blood red. So, I mean, you got to get one. And for me, that's just a guarantee it has to be Will Campbell at 4. If you, for some reason, think Armin Mimbu can play left tackle, then more power to you. You can do that. I do not. So I'm going to take the guy that I know is a no-doubt left tackle on that left side.
Right. Protecting your second-year signal caller, the future of your franchise, as all, top 5 quarterbacks have to be. Beefing up the offensive line is the number one thing that makes the most sense.
For sure.
And then what's the second biggest need?
So they have, New England for me has 4 blood red needs. They then have 2 that are yellow, and then they have 1 that's green. So the others that are pressing needs. You've got to add a receiver at some point. The problem that I have is that your 2 best receivers on the roster right now both play in the slot. So I think Stephon Diggs is probably going to play outside more in New England than we are used to. Last year, he played about half his snaps in the slot, and he has done that largely for the last handful of years. I would say that goes to a 75-25 split this year. And look, I get it. Demario Douglas is not a great player. He's one of your best playmakers actively. Mac Hollins, a.k.a. modern-day Fred Flintstone, he's a really good blocker, and I understand why you signed him. He just doesn't do much down the field. So you need somebody that can get open deep. For me, a really good route runner. There is a guy that you have shown interest in, and I'll get to that momentarily. The other needs that they have that I think are pressing, interior offensive line, Cole Strange is bad. I don't know why this is taking so long for you to figure out. Cole Strange is not good at football. He can be on your roster, but he should not be in your starting lineup. And the other one is I think they have to add a running back at some point, and I would like to do it earlier than later. Ramondre Stevenson can be part of this. Antonio Gibson can be part of this. I think you need a legit, honest-to-God head of the snake.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be Marion Hampton. Doesn't have to be Ashton Genty. But I think you've got to add somebody that's really going to give you some juice. And there is a guy that I think fits that narrative.
Okay. You want to tell us who that is?
Yes, so I'm going to do it in order.
Okay.
Now, this is where A+ comes in. And I'm going to walk you through how I did this. Guard gets ugly in a hurry. New England has 2 picks at the top of the 3rd round. So I've got 3 needs that are super pressing. Tank, do me a favor just off what we have discussed with the draft, which is a lot. Rank wide receiver, guard, and running back in terms of how good these classes are. 1 to 3, 1 being the best, 3 being the worst.
I would say it would be running back, wide receiver, and then guard.
Exactly. So that is, and I would agree with you, and for me, there's a huge drop between each one. So at 38, I go Tyler Booker, the guard out of Alabama.
Right.
I do not love him as a prospect, but a lot of what I have said about not loving him as a prospect comes from this idea that he's going to go in the top 15 or the top 20. I think we've all finally settled on, we watched enough tape and went, nope, he's not that guy. He's a good to decent prospect, especially if you're going to be a pass-happy team, because he's a way better pass blocker than he is run blocker right now. So I can slot him on the inside with Will Campbell. So, yes, I do have 2 rookies on one side. But those 2 can grow together. I don't think you're going to be overly competitive this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, their over-under in Vegas is 8.5 wins, and that's comical to me. Because you're a 6-11, 7-10 team. That's where you're at. You need to develop. You're going to have a lot of rookies playing big, big roles. So then we get down to those 2 third-round picks. They've had Kyle Williams from Washington State in the building. I think Kyle Williams has a possibility of playing more on the outside, kind of the way that we're talking about with Stephon Diggs. So one of the things that I look for in terms of can a guy play on the outside, it's not just how big you are. Okay, there are 5'10" guys that can play on the outside. To me, that's what lazy analysts do is, he's 6 foot or taller. That means he can play on the outside. It's not that. Do you know what Kyle Williams' grade last year versus man coverage was? We're PFFing it again.
Okay. Let's say 86.
89.8. 89.8 is now look, they did not play the most daunting of schedules. I get it. I'm using a stat to fund a narrative here. He also played out wide a lot at Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's this narrative that because he's only 6 foot tall, because he's only 100 and I can't remember exactly what he weighed in at the combine. I want to say it was like 185 pounds, maybe 190. I can't remember. But there's this narrative that he can only play in the slot. I don't think that's true. So I take him a little bit higher, and then I address running back with Dylan Sampson, the running back out of Tennessee. Because I think that is a really good fit for what it is that you need. Look, New England needs a guy that can, as I said, be the head of the snake. That also means you need somebody that's got a little bit of pop. It also does not hurt that they have been all over Dylan Sampson in this process. They had him in for a top 30 visit. They were at his pro day. They were all over him throughout the entire process. That makes me think that that's who that's the kind of running back that they're looking for. Even if it's not Dylan Sampson, it could be somebody that's kind of like that. I'm thinking DJ Giddens. I'm thinking RJ Harvey out of UCF. That's how I start putting pieces together. If you spend a top 30 visit on a guy, you are interested in that player. That would, in theory, mean that you are interested in players that are similar to that player.
Right.
So right there, I think I've dealt with all 4 of your biggest needs. And then I can just kind of fill the roster out from there. And their picks are, they go 106, 144, 171, 220, 238. So I will just do these in order with maybe a sentence about each one. At 106, which is the first pick I see. Yes, that's right. 106, Cody Simon. You know I really like him as an interior inside linebacker in a 3-4. I think that is a need for New England, whether they want to admit it or not, because they added Robert Spillane, but Robert Spillane doesn't really give you anything in terms of third down. I think Cody Simon would start as almost a third down situational coverage, can hold up as a pass rusher, can do a lot of things more against the pass than the run. Ultimately, I think he'd replace Robert Spillane and be a 3-down player. But I don't love Robert Spillane, so not hard to figure out that I was trying to replace him. From there, you go down to 144, which is where I took Joshua Farmer, a defensive tackle. I think he's more of a 5-tech that ends up playing edge in a 3-4 because I just don't love him. He's super raw, but they've had him in on a top 30 visit as well. At 171, I go Jackson Hawes. I said you needed a tight end. It's not a receiving tight end. I need a tight end that can actually block because Hunter Henry can't. So I'm going to get the best blocking tight end in this class by a mile. And I'm going to put him on the opposite side for those 12 sets. So now I've got a blocker and a receiver. I've got an actual receiving threat, and I can use Hunter Henry more as a big slot. And then your 2 late picks. I go center with Drew Kendall out of Boston College, another guy that they've shown interest in, and then Arian Smith at 238. I cannot figure out where to put that kid, and I think he's going to do 30 top 30 visits in 30 days. It seems like everybody wants to talk to him. I just can't get a beat on where's he. So I know now he's going to get drafted. There can't be this many teams interested, and the kid's not going to go. But I do get hung up on that drop rate. I think he can be a really good kick returner in the league to start off with. And then you try to grow what he did in the pre-draft process, which is he showed he could actually catch. He did not really show that at Georgia.
Right. But if Arian Smith's making all of these top 30 visits, is he still going to be around in the 7th round?
I believe so, because I can't find anybody that's – so one of the things you have to be careful with top 30 visits, sometimes you're setting up a guy because you don't think he's going to get drafted. So you're setting him up to really like where you are. So you bring him into town. You show him the best steakhouse in town. You take him out to dinner. You make him love your city. That way when he doesn't get drafted and you're the team that starts calling in the 6th round, he already likes your city. He already likes your coaching staff. So when I see those later guys, I start thinking, that might be an undrafted guy until I see them 25 times. And that's when I go, okay, that's a 7th-round pick. I just can't figure out exactly where.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville A-plus mock drafts. We're doing the AFC East coming up after the break. Jets fans, stick with us. Jeremy says he has created the A-plusest of A-plus mock drafts.
It's perfect.
Shockingly enough for his own team.
It's perfect.
We'll discuss the Jets when we come back here on ESPN Asheville.
Taxes was
clear.
Full financial picture.
Thank you.
Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
The Rocket Man has landed on iHeartRadio.
Hi, this is Elton John, and this is iHeart's Elton John Radio.
Every hit, every deep cut, and the behind-the-scenes stories from Sir Elton himself.
It became my first ever hit.
From the anthems that made history to Elton's own picks, all commercial-free, including his new song with Brandi Carlile, the soundtrack of a legend. Search Elton John Radio on your iHeart app to listen now.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach.
All right, so we have a super
At
chat.
Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about profit.
Yes, sir.
We'll come
Call
back
me
with
today.
that.
Clarissa Marshall at 828-774-6341.
Then do a full reset, just because I'm cutting all of
When
these
it comes
down.
to real estate, we're here
So
for what matters
explain
most. You.
A+ mock draft. Blah, blah, blah.
Welcome to Harvest.
Yeah.
For the
Where
Dolphins
the best
or
organic
Jets.
or
Jets,
natural
Jets.
product.
Jets.
Where the fields are filled with flavorful delights, and every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme. That can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday
Is this
of
the last
every
commercial?
month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Yes, sir.
Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
These two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
We are back on ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, and it is A+ mock draft day. One of them, anyway. The first of several A+ mock draft days coming up here in the Sportsocracy. Be sure to check us out on all the social medias and follow Flostradamus and all of his draft profiles and such at NFLDraft.net. We've got a super chat here from Praise YJ.
Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Don't forget, you can super chat as well. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, and then subscribe to the channel to get into the chat with us. Praise YJ says or asks, Shedeur Sanders to the Saints. It has crazy smoke with it. Thoughts on that? We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Has anything changed?
It doesn't do a ton for me. Solely, look, the Saints are a year away from being a year away because they're resetting the decks. You need to take the best player on the board to get to where Kellen Moore wants to be and to get where Brandon Staley wants to be on the defense. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to be that. I also don't know how happy he would be sitting behind Derek Carr for a year. I'm locked on the Giants for Shedeur, but the slide is starting to look more and more realistic. I just don't think it stops with the Saints. If I'm the Saints at 9, I'm taking the best player on this board. I'm going to get an A+. If you have a first-round grade on Shedeur Sanders, I think you need to have your head examined. I really do. And if your excuse to me is, well, but look how good the pro day was. Jamarcus Russell had the best pro day I've ever seen. Ever. I mean, you honest to God would have thought he was Thor, God of Thunder. But there was this thing about, oh, yeah, he didn't want to read his playbook ever. Shedeur Sanders, to me, wants to be more star than he does NFL quarterback, and that bothers me. And I watched it firsthand. That's not the guy I'm starting a rebuild with. So I don't like it. I am actively trying to get a little intel on the Saints to see if there is legit smoke there or if it's just convenient. You got to remember, a lot of times in mock drafts, mock drafters will do that out of sheer convenience. Shedeur Sanders is one of the biggest names in this draft. It's extra clicks if I say he's falling. It's extra clicks if I say he's going at 9. Saying he falls to 26 with the Rams, that's not as clicky as going to the Saints would be.
Yep. Was just looking down the list here. We got several questions in the YouTube comments, and I know the answer to this, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to respond to it live. Stephen B. asks, what do you think about Will Howard as a first-round pick?
Well, look, I don't like Will Howard as a first-round pick.
Pick?
He was just on Gruden's quarterback class, so just be prepared. John Gruden makes guys look phenomenal. You get Gruden with the little Chucky look. Man, this guy's got a big arm, man. I'd really like to see what he can do with the football, man. They play Migos. Got Migos pumping through the facility while we're throwing passes, man. Mm-hmm. And it really cranks people up. Look, Will Howard is not a bad prospect. I don't want people to think that. The problem is that it's the Kenny Pickett rule. He's way older, and his best tape was when he was way older than the guys he was playing against. So you go back to the Kansas State tape. I never saw NFL quarterback there. Then he goes to Ohio State. He's got unbelievable talent around him, and now he looks like an NFL guy. That gives me huge pause because the bust rate on those guys is about 90%. Mm-hmm. And Stephen B. has a good follow-up question, too, that I want to hit. If you don't like a quarterback as a first-round pick, why even bother drafting before the late rounds? Okay, so that's a really common misconception about quarterbacks. Just because you don't take a guy in the first round does not mean you don't have a high grade on him. I don't have to. If I love Quinn Ewers, I don't have to take Quinn Ewers in the first round, and I know that. I know that definitively. That doesn't mean I don't have a first-round grade on him. But I can use my first and second round pick to put the pieces around him. Then I wind up with 3 1s on my board. That was just an example because it was the name sitting in front of me. Gotcha. You got to remember, you're not just playing your board. You're playing everybody else's too. So where you take a guy does not necessarily mean that's where you had him. That's where you had the league having him.
Mm-hmm. All right, we are doing A-plus mock drafts here in the Sportsocracy today. A-plus mock drafts. So how can your team really knock it out of the park in the 2025 draft? The New York Jets, Jeremy, your favorite team, and I understand that you have put the thumb on the scale for these guys.
I did not put the thumb on the scale. It just so happened that if Darren Muji were to listen to me, then he would walk away with a tremendous grade. He didn't do that in free agency, so we'll see if he does it here in the draft.
All right, who you got as the first selection at 7?
All right, so the Jets, for me, have a handful of very pressing needs. You've got to have a wide receiver because now with no Devontae Adams, now with probably no Alan Lazard, it's thin. You're Garrett Wilson and Malachi Corley, which means you're probably going to see way more of Garrett Wilson on the outside because Corley is exclusively a slot. Mm-hmm. So that means I want somebody that plays on the outside. Tight end is a wasteland for you right now. It's Jeremy Ruckert and me. You even lost Kenny Yeboah, who I just saw him on another roster and went, oh, he's been with us forever. I like him. Offensive tackle and then defensive tackle. Those are the pressing red needs for me. Linebacker and corner are the yellow needs, and then your green need is safety. Because I'd like to just have another depth piece.
Okay. First pick at 7, that's got to be the tight end, right?
I swear to God I'm not meaning to go draft day here, but if Darren Muji doesn't walk into April 24th with a Post-it note on his computer that says Tyler Warren no matter what, we are not going to be best friends, and we are not going to do karate in the garage.
No. Why would you take that away from him?
I love Tyler Warren. I love Colston Loveland too. But for me, with everything that I look at what Sam Laporta did in this exact same offense, and Tyler Warren is I don't know what the opposite of a Wish version is. He's the Macy's version of Sam Laporta. He's the Tiffany's version of Sam Laporta. So what do you think that kid can do in this offense? By the way, the comparisons to the Detroit offense are not going to stop anytime soon. Because that's what I'm trying to build. I want to see Tanner Ergstad become the new Ben Johnson. And I feel like that move piece, the guy that simplifies things down for Justin Fields, is Tyler Warren. And if you wait, I'm telling you, there's a possibility that 3 tight ends go in the first round. And I get it, you pick at 42. There's a chance that it's Elijah Arroyo and nobody else. And I don't like that fit in this offense nearly as much.
All right, for the second-round pick at 42.
This is where I basically either have to get a receiver or an offensive tackle. I'm looking at the classes, and I go back to that thing I asked you earlier. Which one thins out quicker, offensive tackle or wide receiver? It's offensive tackle, and it's by a lot. So I'm going to address the offensive tackle here. I'm not positive this kid would be here, but they've had him in the building. He was on a top 40 visit with the Jets. And that makes me think that they believe he might make it into round 2. It's Ariante Urshary from Minnesota. He could be a Wish version of Penei Sewell because he is also a giant. But he's a really athletic giant. So you look at all of the things that Detroit was able to do to the right side because they had such a good right tackle over there. I kept penciling in that Elijah Vera Tucker was going to shift out to tackle, and they were going to draft a guard. Well, if Urshary's there, that may not be the case. Because I think Urshary could slot in at right tackle right now as a legit starter and really, really help you. He does have some deficiencies because he is a giant. He's a little leany, and he tends to reach a little bit more than I want him to. But having Vera Tucker on the inside of him, I think is a really nice protection. You got Joe Tippmann on the inside of him. You got John Simpson on the inside of him. So, yes, you do have 2 really young tackles on the outside, but you have 2 giant tackles that are really athletic with a mobile quarterback, and I like that a lot.
All right, so then you're targeting a wide receiver in the 3rd round?
Well, you'd think that, except for I need an outside receiver, and we've gotten into the slotty period. Everybody is a junior in college, and they've gone full slotty.
Okay.
They're doing Jaeger bombs and Jello shots. Slotty as can be. So I'm going to bypass receiver for a minute. I don't want to do that, but I think I have to. Adding another slot doesn't do me any good. I prefer Garrett Wilson on the inside, but he can win on the outside as well. I'm looking for a big-bodied guy that can win over the top. There's not really one here. But at 73, I can go Jamari Caldwell. And now I have an interior of my line that is 2 behemoths with Quinnen Williams. I think defensive tackle is a way bigger need for the Jets than anybody talks about. They got annihilated with Javon Kinlaw on the field last year. Jamari Caldwell's not a finished product by any stretch of the imagination, but I think there's a lot of raw to him that you put him with somebody like Quinnen Williams. Tank, how many times during the draft process do I start talking about complementary drafting?
All the time.
You draft a guy that you already have a guy that makes this guy all that much better. I think Caldwell can develop into a really good pass rusher. That 9.3% pass rush win rate's really high for a guy that's 340 pounds. And this also keeps him. He doesn't have to play nose tackle. My big push on Jamari Caldwell is I don't think he is a nose tackle. I think he's built like one. I don't think that's where he plays. And I've seen a couple guys over the years like TJ Slayton, a handful of other guys that at this size can play as a 3-tech, and I think Jamari Caldwell could with the Jets.
Okay, so that's your pick at 73.
Yes.
Right. All right, you still got several picks left for the Jets. 110 is the next one.
Well, 110, I'm officially into that spot where every guy on the board save one is a slot. I can't go Savion Williams. I can't go Isaac Tesla. I can't go Jalen Lane. All of those guys don't do what I want them to do. If you want to take one at 42, you're going to have to shoehorn one. Because unless you're planning on taking Matthew Golden at 7, which you're not, and he's a slot anyway, There's a lot of guys that don't really fit this scheme. So now I'm going to look at one of my more mid-tier needs at a position that is absolutely dead after this guy. But I think this guy can be a stud. It's Poop Hall out of Ole Miss. Can you name the 3 starting linebackers for the New York Jets right now? If you get this right, I swear to God, I will call you a witch or a cheater.
C.J. Mosley still there?
C.J. Mosley's gone. He was released.
Okay.
So
Quincy
Jamie
Williams.
and Sherwood's man in the middle. Quincy Williams that you just got. The third linebacker right now is Zaire Barnes.
Okay.
That's not good.
No.
How many snaps has he ever played in the NFL?
17.
It's 0, and he was drafted 2 years ago. This will be his 3rd year. He has never played a snap in the NFL. I'm good. I need a third linebacker that really fits this scheme. If you look at what Detroit did, they put a lot into linebacker, and I think the Jets will too. Poop Hall with Quincy Williams and Jamie and Sherwood, that is the most athletic, freak of nature linebacker core in the NFL. Didn't say it was the best, just said they're freakishly athletic. I don't. Do I want to know what you were just laughing at?
No, I mean, I'm a child. I can't. You keep saying Poop Hall, and it's fun.
Oh, so you're laughing at poo?
No, of course.
Of course you are.
Poop Hall. It's anyhow. All right, so you're drafting literal poo as the Jets do at number 110.
At least it's a small poo.
How about 145?
If you're going to be a child, I'm going to play into it. At 145, this is where I finally address wide receiver. This is more of a raw kid, but you can use the height, weight, speed off the jump. It's Dante Thornton Jr. out of Tennessee. There are not many guys on this planet that can run a 4.3 40 that are 6'5". Is he a developed prospect? Oh, good God, no. As a matter of fact, he gives me vibes of a lot of guys that I have missed on gruesomely over the years. But there's enough good tape. It's just in such small bursts. I think in time he can develop into a 2. You're going to need a veteran. And I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't be averse to bringing back Alan Lazard. Lazard plays as the 2. He's a good blocker. I know that. Thornton can run as the 4. So Lazard plays more in those 12 sets early. I can keep some wear and tear off Garrett Wilson. And I've got Dante Thornton that is a bigger guy. And probably if you push him down this rabbit hole, Tennessee didn't ask receivers to do this all that much. I think he could end up being a pretty good blocker as well.
All right, and 3 picks left. The late round flurry here for the Jets. Who you got?
At 162, I go Quincy Riley. He's built like a slot corner. He's not, because he's not a really good as a matter of fact, he's not a really good tackler. He's a bad tackler. But if you go back a year in tape at Louisville, he was really sticky in coverage. And if you look at how Aaron Glenn wants to play, that's the kind of corner that I'm looking for. It's a good value for me at 162. Deion Clark, the safety out of Fresno State, just a depth piece, but I think he could be a really good special teams player at 186. They've already had him in the building on a top 30 visit. Same thing for the pick at 207. And I swear to God, he is not in every team's mock draft, but it's Arian Smith again.
Okay.
Arian Smith's another guy that I think could, in theory, play on the outside because he did beat man coverage. He just had really bad hands. He had one of the highest drop rates I've ever seen in my life. And now I promise that is the last time we say Arian Smith of the 8 teams we're doing today, and then I reserve the ability to put him to 2 more tomorrow.
Yes. Hey, a guy with that kind of ability late in the draft, if he can figure out how to catch, or if he has figured out how to catch, he's going to be a hell of a value in those later rounds, no doubt in my mind. All right, the New York Jets A-plus mock draft. We will return from the break here, and we'll give you the A-plus mock draft for the next team in the AFC East. What are the Miami Dolphins going to do in this draft after, well, a couple of disappointing years, we'll say, for Mike McDaniel, mad respect coach, and his team? We'll be right back here on ESPN Asheville.
ESPN
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
All right, 68 and 0.8 yesterday, 68 degrees and 0.8 inches of rainfall.
Who was the one you said between Riley and Smith?
like it. Tonight, mainly clear, upper 20s.
Deion Clark.
There are some freeze warnings off to our east. Everybody, though, is going to be at or below freezing. Wednesday, sunshine, near 60. Next chance of showers, Thursday afternoon.
Clark.
From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Bug Out. Enjoying the outdoors without mosquitoes pestering
Deion
and biting
Clark,
you can
our
seem
first
impossible.
reference
That's why
to a
Bug Out
jag.
offers effective treatment solutions against
Just
mosquito infestations
a guy.
and prevents future ones. To learn more and to schedule your $69 initial mosquito control service, visit bugoutservice.com today.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
From the very beginning, iHeart has believed in me.
Even now, I still get excited when I hear one of my songs playing on the radio.
Thank you, iHeartRadio, for honoring the truth I've fought for in my music.
Because we believe in the power of music. All your favorite artists, all in one place. The free iHeartRadio app.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize what.
All right, so we got like 10 minutes here for Miami.
Screen printing, embroidery,
That's
and
fine.
laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com
Tell me when the last commercial
or
starts.
showtimesportsavl.com for your local one
Will do.
apparel shops. Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at Parks Ford.
All right, last one.
When the springtime flowers are in bloom and the morning songbirds begin to greet you each morning, you know that the magic of Easter is right around the corner. Easter magic begins at Ingles.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
We are back in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville A-plus mock draft day one here in the Sportsocracy as we get you prepared for the 2025 NFL Draft. And Flostradamus Jeremy Green working hard at NFLDraft.net on all of the rankings and the mock drafts and the player profiles and such. And he's already up to 674 player profiles for a draft that only takes 270 dudes.
Nope, I told you we're stopping at 540 this year. We're being responsible. You know, trying to get some fun. We got 4 minutes of fun scheduled next Thursday. I get to watch a commercial break on television. Let's go.
You get 73?
257.
257 picks. I would do 258 profiles. And if I miss one, oh well.
Yep. And you would be – well, see, here's the thing. It's really bad when we travel 13 hours to go to the draft, and in the fourth round we have 4 dudes that just – a pick comes down, and they all look at each other and go, who the hell is that guy? Somebody's got to go. I know who that is.
Jeremy wants to be that guy.
This is the cross I bear.
What do the Miami Dolphins have to do to have an A-plus draft?
So Miami's interesting in Miami's interesting in that they only have one, I think, really ungodly pressing need, and it's at safety. You lost Javon Holland. He was really important to how that team functioned. And I got news for you. If you think Ashton Davis is going to replace that, I have a bridge to sell you. I just watched him play for 4 years with the Jets. And yes, he is a freak athlete. He is not a great football player. He's fun to have on the field. He'll make a play every now and then. But that's about it. And
that whole secondary needs help.
I agree. I do want to take a corner. You got to remember they took Cam Smith in the second round. So this was still Chris Greer. It was not with Anthony Weaver, but they did take Cam Smith. So I do have them taking a corner. It's probably just not as high as a lot of people would want it to be. Other needs for Miami, for me, safety is one by a mile. Corner and guard are very close. They're yellow needs. And then we get into nose tackle, offensive tackle, tight end. I would like you to add another quarterback. Good thing is Miami's got a boatload of picks. So you should be able to add a good number of fellers.
All right, their first pick comes in at number 13. So they use a safety there.
I think that's too high.
Malachi Starks goes real early.
I think that's too high. In an A+, I can't take a guy 10 to 15 spots before I think he will go in the actual draft. So I'm going to take the player that you're not going to be able to get later, and that's the offensive lineman. So I'm going to go Kelvin Banks Jr. I have said I think he has Jonathan Ogden high upside as a left tackle. You did add James Daniels, which was one of my favorite pickups in this class. At free agency, I thought James Daniels was a home run for Miami. You add Kelvin Banks. Here, I think he would start at left tackle, and you would still have Patrick Paul that you took in the second round to play on the right side, and Austin Jackson could actually move to guard. Austin Jackson's become like a Sasquatch. Every year I talk about the Dolphins, and every year their fan base defends this guy who has been absolutely god-awful for the vast majority of his career. And I liked him coming out. I should be defending him. He's been terrible. Stop it. You compete Jackson and Paul against each other on the right side. Kelvin Banks starts on the left. If it doesn't work out, then you can slide him into guard. He fits the scheme really, really well, and there's not a lot of guys that do that.
All right, after Kelvin Banks, then where do they pivot to?
Well, in this scenario, I've got a lot of picks if I'm Miami. So I think there's a possibility that Nick Eamon-Worry falls a little further than a lot of other people do. Because when the scouts get to watching the tape, you're going to go outside of playing as that deep safety that's super rangy and is a good tackler down the field. He doesn't provide what you think he does. He's not this big hulking linebacker that can come down and play in the box because he's not a very good tackler. He's really good in coverage. I get he's built like Thor. He tackles like Jane. Wait a minute, that was Tarzan. He's built like Tarzan. He tackles like Jane. So
actually, Jane, I think, was the name of Thor's girlfriend. So
accidental contact. I got it right, but I didn't mean to. Yes. So I actually have the Dolphins trading up. They use 48 and 98 to get up to 38 with New England to get in front of the Chicago Bears to take Nick Eamon-Worry, the safety out of South Carolina. I said all of those things. He fits in Miami perfectly. And he gives you a nice safety net back behind Cam Smith if he's your 2, or behind the corner that I'm getting ready to take with your next selection. I like Eamon-Worry in Miami. I don't like him in some of these other places that I keep hearing.
All right, and who's the corner coming up next?
So from there, Miami drops down to 116, and I go Kobe Bryant out of Kansas State. I find it really funny, and it's one of the ways that I remember this kid, is that he has kind of that Mamba mentality of he fights tooth and nail on every single snap. Is he a finished product? Oh, good God, no. I got news for you. There's not many of those in this class. If Kobe Bryant was 15 pounds heavier and could still move the way he does, we'd be talking about him in the second round. The problem is he's about 175, and I'm not sure that he's not going to get pushed around on the outside by really big receivers. You do have Jalen Ramsey, though. So you can kind of protect a guy when you have another. Look, Jalen Ramsey can be as physical as any corner in this league. You just have to let him do it. So I really like the pairing of Kobe and Cam Smith. You can kind of use them as de facto 2As and 2Bs because they do different things. I don't love doing that, but at corner, if you're getting into that late day 2, early day 3, and you think you're going to find a starter, you're going to have to prop them up one way or the other.
Okay. All right. Was that 116 or 98?
That was 98 was in the trade up for Eamon Wardy.
Ah, gotcha. In the trade.
48, 98 went to. They traded 98 to go up 10 spots to get Eamon Wardy.
Gotcha.
Then Kobe Bryant goes at 116.
All right. And then
135. I'm going to take the shot. I want a nose tackle that I can develop because I don't necessarily think you have to have one that plays right this minute because you do have Benito Jones on the inside of that defense, and there may be more to him. I've never really seen it. So I'm going to go Deion Walker from Kentucky. I do find the public narrative on him to be funny. He did not have a great last year at Kentucky, but you would honest to God think he was a Teletubby listening to people talk about him. He wasn't good. None of these Kentucky guys were. If you're going to rail on Deion Walker, you better not leave Maxwell Harrison out either because he was terrible last year as well, and he's going to go in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Deion Walker gets into the right position, and knowing Anthony Weaver the way I do, I think that's the right position. That's a guy that can coach him up.
Yep. All right, and then the late round flurry here.
So we go I feel like you need a quarterback because if you're trusting Zach Wilson, I think that's a fool's errand. So I go Kyle McCord at 150.
Okay.
I do like him as a prospect. He has the same problem that Will Howard does of he was way better when he was older than these guys. His Ohio State tape is terrifying, but he was much better at Syracuse. So maybe he turned a corner. I'll take the flyer here in the 5th round. I need a tight end, so I'll get Tommy Fedone out of Nebraska. It's another high upside guy. He only had like 60 catches his entire career at Nebraska. Played a ton of snaps, but that offense also didn't throw to tight ends very much. I saw him at the Senior Bowl and absolutely fell in love with him. He's one of my favorite players in this class. Trey Wettig is my offensive tackle. I take him at 224. Just a depth piece. I don't think there's a ton of high upside there. And then we go Nash Jones out of Texas State, who is he's kind of a guard tackle hybrid. I'm not real sure. I think he's going to land at guard, but he could play at some tackle. And then Dorian Singer is your wide receiver at 251. Dorian Singer was supposed to be a second-round pick. He transferred to Utah and fell off the world. Mm-hmm. But I do think there's still a good chance he gets drafted he's a 6th receiver for Miami. They had him in, I think they were at his pro day and talked to him a lot. I had him circled for Miami for some reason. In the break, I'll check and see what that was.
All right, the A-plus mock draft for the Miami Dolphins. Don't forget to check out NFLDraft.net for all of the latest rankings and profiles and such from at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Green. We'll be right back here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll continue with the A-plus mock drafts. The Buffalo Bills. How are they going to stay at the top of the division next?
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
All right, 68 and 0.8 yesterday, 68 degrees and 0.8 inches of rainfall. Now the colder air coming in. Sunshine, breezy today, 52, will not feel like it. Tonight, mainly clear, upper 20s. Are some freeze warnings off to our east. Everybody, though, is going to be at or below freezing. Wednesday, sunshine, near 60. Next chance of showers, Thursday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Harbor Freight knows time is money. So for our Spring Black Friday sale, we're getting straight to the deals. This weekend, you get 35% off jack stands, 56-inch roll cabs under $800, and 2,300 PSI electric pressure washers under $190. See? Straight to the point, so you can get straight to the savings. Whatever you do, Do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until April 13th, 2025 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things home ownership. Rocket, own the dream.
Lowe's is the destination for Ego outdoor power equipment this spring. See what's new and exclusive, like the 17-inch string trimmer with Line IQ technology that auto-feeds to save you time, and the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled mowers with a multi-blade system for precise cutting. Shop Ego Days, happening now during Spring Fest at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right.
Look at Jeremy doing smart Marvel references by accident.
For a quote today, you're in good
I
hands
am a
with
wise
Allstate.
man.
Buying or selling a... Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Calling all foodies, beer lovers, and barbecue fans. Join us on April 9th at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville for Pork and Pour, a cut-up and sip-down class. A butcher will break down a hog while teaching about sustainable farming. Plus, Highwire Brewing will be on hand to pair craft beers with mouth-watering barbecue bites. Join us on April 9th, where butchery meets brews. Go to bearsbbq.com to learn more. Cheers to Pork and Pours. From the Ingles Studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
We are back at the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. You can get your thoughts in on the topics of the day. On today's program, we are discussing A-plus mock drafts as we head closer and closer to the 2025 NFL Draft up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Parks Ford of Hendersonville mobile studio will be all gassed up and ready to take us 7,000 miles to the great northern United States.
We will drive 5,000 miles and 500 more. Yes. Sorry. Every time you do that, that song winds up stuck in my head, and I sit here singing it in the break.
Yes. It is a long, long way up to Green Bay, Wisconsin, but we'll be making the trip up there. We will have Armchair Commentaries, David Smith with us as well. He'll be making the trip back into the United States. Hopefully there are no, red flags from the last trip that he made to the U.S., that he gets stopped at customs or anything like that. You guys were pretty well behaved in Indianapolis, right?
I mean, minus the fact we drilled every American fast food ever. One of the funniest things that I think I've ever heard somebody say was David Smith in our chat one day that said, I came to America and all I got was a debilitating fast food habit and addicted to secondhand vape nicotine.
Cowboy Zach Hurst also going to be joining us up there in Green Bay, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we'll have a lot of fantasy football stuff on the live stream. Zach he and I've talked every day leading up to this, and he has basically said, I'm not learning offensive linemen. So you look to me when we talk about quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends.
Yeah.
You deal with the rest of that because I'm not doing it.
I love it. I love his fortitude.
We will use Cowboy Zach Hurst when we have to get into attractive rooms. We'll send him to say, I have a table of 4. Cool, they all look like you. Nope. Look at Lurch, the kid from the Goonies, and our Saskatoon Sasquatch, David Smith.
The Saskatoon Sasquatch.
That wasn't nice to any of us, just to be clear.
Agreed, but I like the Saskatoon Sasquatch. That's a real good one.
Dave's great. I'm so excited that he's able to come on this trip, and this is going to be absolutely out of bounds. I can't wait. It is,
and the Ingles Living the Dream Tour rides on with Ingles Supermarkets, Parks Ford of Hendersonville, Clarissa sells WNC.com, and Bears Smokehouse Barbecue, chief sponsors of the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville and everywhere on the YouTubes. A-plus mock drafts, that's what we're talking about today. We've got one more team to do in the AFC East, and then we're going to do the teams from the NFC East. We've been going through these in draft order, so as not to ruffle any feathers, show favoritism to any one team.
Look, good teams, you go last. You got playoff games. The rest of us were eliminated in October. This is our time. You give us this.
Right. So the Buffalo Bills coming up in this draft, what do they have to do to get an A-plus from you, Flostradamus? They have the 30th pick overall in the first round, and how many holes does this team have?
Well, I'm going to ask you, as you have not done the deep dive that I have, what would you, off the top of your head, say the biggest needs for the Buffalo Bills are?
Secondary help.
Yep,
cornerback,
I agree with you.
Safety. I don't care what it is. You pick the best one on the board. If Malachi Starks is there, that's who I'm taking.
All right, so if I told you that you could get a legit edge rusher and Malachi Starks and Savon Ravel, would you sign up for that right now?
Absolutely.
I agree. I
what
did
order
this.
Do I have to take them in?
I'm not going to lie to you. I did this and went, oh, my God. I just gave a division rival the best mock draft, I think, of this entire process. So,
shoo doggy.
Buffalo is in a great spot because they need edge rusher, they need safety, they need corner. That is the 3 most likely positions for you to have sitting on the board at number 30. Mm-hmm. And the one that I keep looking at, they were all over this kid at the Combine. They have not had him in for a top 30 visit. It's Malachi Starks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Buffalo is – that's not a good secondary. Okay, it's not.
No.
And we can keep doing this thing where we talk about how DeMar Hamlin's such a great story. Can we also add the addendum of he is a damn terrible football player? Can we possibly talk about that? I understand, all right, we're 2 years out here. I think it's acceptable for me to say he absolutely sucks. A lot of their problems in the secondary are because he's so bad as a deep safety. He has some of genuinely the worst instincts I've ever seen. So what do I do to fix this? There are a bunch of corners. There's only one really legit high-end safety that I think Malachi Stark's only flaw is that he's not overly fast. He still ran a 4.5. He's not a giant guy either, but neither is Javon Holland. Javon Holland's one of my favorite safeties in this league. He's not a gigantic guy. So I add Malachi Starks here. I've still got Taylor Rapp that can play inside the box. Every Bills fan wants to tell me how good their linebacking core is, so I've vowed I will not take a linebacker for you here, no matter how bad I want to.
Okay.
Balin Spector, you keep telling me how good he is. I don't see it, but okay, sure. Let's do that. I don't think edge rusher is as big of a need for them as everybody makes it out to be. I still want to add one. I got to fix that secondary, or I don't care how good your pass rush is. Do you know who the number 2 corner on this team right now is?
No, I do not.
I'll give you a hint, and I bet you still can't get it.
Okay.
He played for my team. His name is Brandon Codrington.
Oh,
that's who PFF lists as their number 2 corner. Now, he's not, because they do still have Teron Johnson. They got Christian Benford, and they brought back Dane Jackson. Mm-hmm. That's all well and good. That's a whole mess. I really like Christian Benford. I'm okay with Teron Johnson. I need a number 1 true dog. Teron Johnson plays out of the slot. So if you're telling me I can have Christian Benford, Johnson in the slot, and Savone Ravel on the outside, I'm signing up for that right now. Oh, by the way, I also put Savone Ravel on the same side as Malachi Starks, and guess what? That makes up for the fact that Malachi Starks is not a freak athlete, because now he can shade to the inside. It's not a schematic thing. He's just cheating to the inside, because I know Ravel is athletic enough to catch up to anything over the top. Now, how do you get there? I had to make a little trade. Buffalo's got, I think, a nice accumulation of draft picks here. Don't necessarily have that many spots. If you ever want to really look at teams that are likely to make trades, look at teams that have a lot of capital in the top 150 picks that don't have that many open spots on their roster. The Buffalo Bills have 10 picks, in this draft. I will guarantee you they're going to make a move somewhere. So I got to 41. The Chicago Bears, they have 2 second-round picks. I think there's a great chance they're going to deal one of them. Revel fell to 41, so I gave up 56, 109, and 132 to get to 41 to take Savone Ravel. And now I've added 2 premier players in this class. That's 2 of my top 25, and you took neither one of them in the top 25.
Wow.
So now I got Starks and Revel. Revel's coming off the ACL at East Carolina, but he's still a bulldog. I mean, if you like Tariq Woolen coming out, you'll like Savone Ravel. 6'3", with great hands, track speed, but he's coming off the injury. If it wasn't for that, he would have been a top 20 pick, and from everything I've been told, he's fine. Take the value. That's what I did here with Buffalo, and I at this point, I think I could take cartoon characters, and I still got an A.
You did pretty well, but you got another one at 62.
Sure do. And this is a kid that they have had in the building. A couple of our great listeners call him O2. His name is Oluwafemi Oladejo, pass rusher from UCLA. This kid was an off-ball linebacker, so I kind of cheated because I do think he will play some off-ball linebacker in the NFL. But he's not a natural linebacker, so Bills fans don't at me. He's a situational pass rusher to begin. He's built like Thor, God of Thunder. But I think he needs to refine the pass rusher skills. Chip Kelly had played him as a linebacker. He moved to the defensive line, and it was the best tape I've seen by a mile. I undersold this kid until I saw him at the Senior Bowl because I had watched his tape as a linebacker and went, that's irrelevant. Then I saw him at the Senior Bowl and went, how did you get here? Like, did you pay your own way and stole a jersey and sewed your name on it? Because I can't fathom why they invited you here. Then I went back and watched the tape, and then I figured it out. They had him in for a top 30 visit, and the idea of pairing him with Joey Bosa is really intriguing to me because he holds up nicely, but he's not a refined product. To start, he should play roughly 25 to 30 snaps. That takes some of the load off of Joey Bosa, and you can use him more in that hybrid role that you used Von Miller in because he's had a lot of injury issues over the last few years.
All right, so those 3 stars, those 3 studs will get you close to an A+. But how you tackle the end of the 5th round and the start of the 6th round, I think is going to be very important here. They
What?
have
They have 4 picks in
9.
8.
Yeah, like there's is it 8? I must have miscounted. I was thinking it was 9. They have 4 picks within an 8-pick stretch.
Oh no, you were right. I forgot to count the 0.
Yeah, 9. They have 169, 170, 173, and 177. That 177 is the first pick in the 6th round that they got from the New York Giants. So you got a lot of damage here that you could do if good talent falls.
Yes, and if you're looking at just the capital for the Bills, I gave up 109 and 132 to get up for Savon Ravel.
Yes.
I always have to repeat that because somebody will go, they don't have those picks. I explained that.
Yes.
Quite intricately.
Yes,
So we start at
56,
169.
109, 132.
So we start at 169. A player that I'm not in love with just solely because the production's never been there, but they did have him in on a top 30 visit. They also saw him at the Combine. They were at his workout, and they were at his pro day. It's Isaiah Bond. And before anybody tells me he's going before that, you should tell people in the NFL that. Because I've shown this so Tank has this sheet in front of him.
Uh-huh.
You thought I said something else. Yeah, I know.
Whew.
That's why I
was
clarified.
going down that path.
That's why I clarified. I have shown this sheet to people in the NFL, and one of the things that they have told me is you have Isaiah Bond too high.
Mm-hmm.
So I pushed him down to here. I think this is more where he lines up on my board. But this is the over-the-top deep hitter that Buffalo doesn't really have right now. I love Keon Coleman. He's not crazy straight line fast. Khalil Shakir is the shifty guy in the slot. I always confuse Dalton Schultz and Dalton Kincaid. And I want to call them each other all the time. Dalton Kincaid is a malleable tight end, but he's not an over-the-top burner. And then on the other side, you've got Josh Palmer, who is a little bit more of a burner. He's got better speed, but he's never really shown to be that crazy over-the-top deep threat. So here I add in Isaiah Bond to be that over-the-top guy.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then the next pick.
Vernon Broughton. A lot of other people have him way too high. Like PFF has him 84 on their board, and to me that is absolute lunacy. He is a good player. He also has absolutely no position right now, and because he's too small to really play in a 3-4. That's where everybody keeps evaluating him, but I don't see that. I get it, he's 305 pounds. He doesn't play that way.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, he needs to be on a 4-3 team that can use the fact that he's a really, really good one-on-one defensive tackle. If he starts getting double-teamed, this kid will absolutely be out of the league in 4 years. That's what you have to avoid. So I need a good D-line around him. I think he'd be a great fit for Buffalo there at 170.
All right, and then at 173.
I don't think Buffalo values this as big of a need as a lot of other people do because they really haven't talked to one through the process. It's a guard. And I get it. They're very invested in Osiris Torrance, and David Edwards was pretty good last year. I'm going to add a depth guy just in case. It's Luke Kandra. He falls into that kind of just a guy category. But of the just a guys, he might be my favorite just a guy, if that made even a lick of sense.
Yes.
He played really well in college. He went to Cincinnati, so he played in the American. And he was really good there. But I kind of look at him as, is there any refinement to your game? He's a super athlete. But I don't see great strength. The technique is good. It's not great. He needs to get stronger, and he does have really little teeny T-Rex arms. But the athleticism itself is enough to get him drafted.
177, top of the 6th round.
177 is I can't wait for Bills fans to tell me how stupid I am with this one because I've given him to them multiple times. Savion Williams. All right, I am officially going to start listing him as a running back because I'm so tired of people telling me, well, he doesn't fit as an outside receiver. I understand that. I'm not drafting him to be that. Just because he is a wide receiver, and that is the position they tell me he's playing, he is a running back. You have an issue with James Cook. Period. You do. This is a problem. He wants a lot of money, and you do not want to give it to him. I'm not saying this is your long-term solution. This is a lottery ticket, and it's a really high-end one because you could win $10 million. You could also cut him in a year. His best tape is at running back. He plays running back and wide receiver. Oh, and by the way, he's 6'5". Think Cordero Patterson that we didn't fall for. Mm-hmm. And by the way, as a scouting community, I'm very proud we didn't fall for him because I watched him at the combine and I went, nope, that is not a second, third round pick like you were talking about a month and a half ago. But in terms of can I teach him to be a running back over the course of the next year and then see what I've got? Absolutely. And if you hit on him, that kid could be special as a running back. And flex him out in that Antonio Gibson style where he plays wide receiver too, but that's not why he's in the league.
Now, the final pick at 206 at the end of the 6th.
Oh, damn it. I told you I wasn't taking a linebacker, but I had to do it. It's Teddy Buchanan from California. Keep telling me you don't need a linebacker. Yes, you do. You do need a linebacker. Teddy Buchanan is just a depth guy. If I'm not mistaken, I think they had him. They were at his pro day. So they were really, really intrigued by him at his pro day. I think he comes in as a special teams ace. So he's not really a linebacker. He's a depth linebacker that helps you on special teams. He's really super athletic. His instincts need, how do I put it? Jesus. I was trying to put it nicely, but nope, can't do it. Yeah, his instincts need a lot of work. But you can be really patient with him. So, right, I'm sorry, I lied. I did take a linebacker. Not high. So, leave me alone.
The top of the A-plus mock draft for the Buffalo Bills. I don't think they could start any better than Malachi Starks, Savon Ravel, and Ola Oladejo as their first 3 picks. The A-plus mock drafts roll on here in the Sportsocracy. Coming up after the break, we will begin the A-plus mock drafts for the NFC East. First up, the worst team in the division, the New York Giants.
It's never been done before.
Clear.
Radio and America's favorite TV show, Wheel of Fortune, come together for 1 week only. Music lovers from across the country play for incredible iHeartRadio experiences.
iHeartRadio Jingle Ball Concert.
Music Festival.
iHeartRadio Music Award.
And you can win too. Play along all week at wheeloffortune.com and you could find yourself at an unforgettable iHeartRadio event.
Start spinning. Good luck.
All this week.
iHeartRadio Week on Wheel of Fortune with me, Ryan Seacrest. Check it out.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Harbor Freight knows time is money, so for our Spring Black Friday sale, we're getting straight to the deals. This weekend, you get 35% off jack stands, 56-inch roll cabs under $800, and 2,300 PSI electric pressure washers under $190. See? Straight to the point, so you can get straight to the savings. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until April 13th, 2025 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
The Rocket Man has landed on iHeartRadio.
Hi, this is Elton John, and this is iHeart's Elton John Radio.
Every hit, every deep cut, and the behind-the-scenes stories from Sir Elton himself.
It became my first ever hit.
From the anthems that made history
Elton's own picks, all commercial-free, including his new song with Brandi Carlile, the soundtrack of a legend. Search Elton John Radio on your iHeart app to listen now.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Calling all foodies, beer lovers, and barbecue fans. Join us on April 9th at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville for Pork and Pour, a cut-up and sip-down class. A butcher will break down a hog while teaching about sustainable farming. Plus, Highwire Brewing will be on hand to pair craft beers with mouth-watering barbecue bites. Join us on April 9th, where butchery meets brews. Go to bearsbbq.com to learn more. Cheers to Pork and Pours.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, coming to you live from the Ingles studio, also the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor.
We have.
Well, I mean,
go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. I was going to say, because Jeremy's got so much to do that there's no way we can peel him out of that seat until the draft begins.
Oh, look,
I don't believe.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll realize that all the graphics look a little bit different and they're all a little bit crisper. It's because I had to recut them all between 4:30 yesterday afternoon and noon today. I'm running on about an hour of sleep. I had about 2 hours the night before. First of all, I don't think I should be driving a car legally.
No,
probably a bad idea.
No, the DOT would definitely pull you over. They would make you. They would make you pull off the road and get you a little rest. They would not let you drive a truck right now under your current state.
You go have a nap, mullet boy. We have a couple super chats we need to get to.
That we do.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
First one's from Sir Jimothy. Said, just joined in. If you ain't a Gator, you're Gator bait. Man, I am really tired of hearing that line as a lifelong Florida Stater. But go Gators. Modern blue blood, chomp, chomp, prove 63 seconds is long enough to get the job done. I've been telling my wife that since 2018.
That was a lot.
63 seconds is that's a formidable sprint.
Mm-hmm.
But congratulations to...
Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Sorry, he had another one. I thought you were going to transition into that one as well.
I was going to do it before the drop. You did it after. That's
sorry.
Sometimes you can't, when you can't make hand signals to each other, it's a little tough.
It's a guessing game sometimes.
For sure. He said, America is swamp nation, just ruffling feathers. It's not inside these four walls, but I am happy for you. Only Gator that I like in other than Sir Jimothy and a handful of others comes on a plate with a little Cajun Creole.
Big fan of the gator bites, huh?
I do like alligator. It's between the shoes and the bites. I'm pro alligator.
Oh yeah, you get those alligator bites that come with the honey mustard sauce. Oh, so good, so
good.
All right, and we've got a member super chat from Colin as well.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Colin says, let's go. 34 months. He's the other true OG. Yes, Colin. Not cousin Colin, right? Or is that a different Colin?
That is not cousin. That is not cousin Colin Green. That is original. That one of the show G's, just Colin.
Just Colin. We are so glad that you've been hanging with us for so long. All you got to do is just subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also join the House of Reprehensibles, and the Super Chats are right there open for you anytime you want to throw a little extra support the Sportsocracy's way. In the run-up to the 2025 NFL Draft, we continue our A-plus mock drafts. NFC East teams, the worst one, we'll start with them because, well, they need the most help. It's the New York Football Giants. Absolutely terrible 3-win season last year. They've got the quarterback issue hanging over their heads. Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston in town now. You've got short timers as your GM and your cut. It's just a magnitude of dumbassery with the Giants right now.
Somebody needs to bring their broom to NYC, and it will be me because it's a mess.
A-plus mock draft. What's the A-plus pick at number 3?
I can't give you an A-plus on anything that has Shedeur Sanders in it. I'm going Travis Hunter at 3. Look, you missed on Deonte Banks. I still think you can get something out of him, but it's not as your true, honest-to-God number 1 corner. You signed Paulson Adebo. I like Drew Phillips a lot. So you slide Travis Hunter in as your true number 1 corner. You have Darius Slayton that can play on the outside, Wan'Dale Robinson that can play in the slot, and so you can put in a package of plays for Travis Hunter to play wide receiver. This is what makes the most sense. Do I think it's what you're going to do? No. But this is my A-plus mock draft, and this is what I will give an A-plus to, and that involves Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm. I think I would literally like anything else they could do with the number 3 pick other than taking Shedeur Sanders.
You could take Barry Sanders at this point, and I would like it better than Shedeur Sanders. As he currently sits at 50-something years old.
Right. But if they're sold, they're sold. I still like the prospect of them trading down, maybe recouping some capital and then getting Shedeur Sanders. But for this exercise at number 3, Travis Hunter, who will and should play both ways in the NFL. Do you agree with that?
For sure. If you're taking Travis Hunter to only play – now, there is a caveat to that. If you're taking Travis Hunter, you're taking him to only play corner because I think he can be an elite shutdown off-man off-zone corner. I don't love him just playing in a super man-heavy scheme. I don't love him.
Mm-hmm.
I really like him, but I don't love him. It's hard for me to take a corner at 3. The bust rate of corners at 3 is really high. But if you're willing to let him read and react, because that's what I think he does the best, he can be elite. You're not taking him just to be a wide receiver in the top 5. He's not that good. I mean, I hate to break it to you. Hey, last year, how many receivers went in the top 10?
How many?
Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, who went to this team, and Rome Odunze. Is Travis Hunter better as a receiver than any of those 3 guys?
No.
Nope. Brian Thomas Jr. went at 21, 22. He was somewhere down there in the early 20s. Is Travis Hunter better as a receiver than Brian Thomas Jr.?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
No, not as a prospect, not as an evaluation, not as an anything. This is not a great high-end receiver class and is letting people get skewed on what Travis Hunter is. He's an elite prospect. He's an elite prospect playing both ways. You need a specific team that can do it where he's going to be the number 1 corner and there will be a package of plays for him. He's not playing full-time on both sides for any team in this league. But I think the Giants could use him as kind of a 2 be to Darius Slayton. Slayton does the yeoman's work. It's not sexy, it's not pretty, but he's going to be in there still competing in those practice reps against Travis Hunter or against Paulson Adebo. So it's not that huge of a drop-off. So for some of these teams, the guy that would be filling in for Travis Hunter as your 2 is like a guy that should be selling Geico car insurance.
All right, let's go to pick number 34.
Well, there's a word you said a few minutes ago. Starts with a T and rhymes with raid. And that's what I'm doing because I still don't have a quarterback. I still don't have a young quarterback that's going to keep me employed, so I got to go find one of those. And that's what I'm going to do. I know a team is going to do what I'm getting ready to say. I would really like it if it was the New York Giants. I'm going to package 34 and 105. I'm going up to 30 with the Buffalo Bills, and I'm getting Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart's my number 2 quarterback in this class.
105 is enough to move up into the first round?
Yeah, I mean, 105 is a high-end 4th-round pick. If you go by the trade chart, if you go by what we've done over the last few years, that's basically what Carolina gave up last year to get up a couple spots with Buffalo.
Okay.
And Buffalo they have something else working, as I alluded to in the previous mock. Got to recoup one of those picks, so maybe I'm not getting 100% value, but I'm still getting the same player at 34 that I would get at 30, most likely. Especially because I know you're coming up here for a quarterback. Look, Jackson Dart in the right system can be an absolute bulldog. And I think having Malik Neighbors is a huge benefit to him. I've got to put a lot around him. But the good thing is I do have I do have Russell Wilson, and I do have Jameis Winston. So I don't have to thrust him out there immediately. My goal is I want to win some games, keep myself employed, and my long-term quarterback that I can sell to ownership is I'm going to make Jackson Dart everything that I made Josh Allen. And you may say I'm absolutely crazy saying that because Jackson Dart doesn't have that kind of big arm.
Mm-hmm.
Take the big arm trait. And when I say big arm, Josh Allen's got an arm that maybe 5 guys in NFL history have had. Take that line of the eval on those 2 players away. What's really the difference between Jackson Dart and Josh Allen? Allen's a little bigger. He's not as fast. He's athletic. He's not as athletic. Jackson Dart's more athletic than Josh Allen. Josh Allen's bigger. But the way they play, I see those 2 super similarly at times. You have accuracy issues with both. Brian Daboll fixed that. Brian Daboll made Josh Allen incredibly accurate over the middle. And I'm going to be honest with you, Jackson Dart has better raw technique than Josh Allen did. I'm not saying he's going to wind up being an MVP. I'm just saying when you take the prototype type of quarterback, I can sell Jackson Dart to the Mara family and say, look, he's going to be a 78% version of Josh Allen. And that is a way that you can keep your job. Shedeur Sanders is not, because he's going to come out and look completely lost.
All right, pick number 65.
I have to get an offensive lineman. I must do it. So I'm going Marcus Imbow from Purdue. I think that's the kid in this draft class that people are not talking about enough. Because, yeah, he's a little thin, but he's got a nasty streak that is 8 miles long. The Giants just had him in on a top 30 visit. And I think there's a lot to that. Because there are teams that think he can play on the right side. I prefer him at guard. I think he can play on the right side. Just I'm not as high on it. But that gives you a nice malleable piece because, look, they're still trying to figure out that offensive line. Jermaine Illuminor is not sending me over the edge that you're just done. You got issues on that line, and I need to add a piece.
Mm-hmm. Right at 99.
Well, this is where we get the buzzword of the year. The big slot. With Isaac Tesla. I think by the time this is all said and done, I'm going to have Tesla in the second round. I am single-handedly leading the Isaac Tesla fan club. And I'll tell you why I like the fit with the New York Giants so much. So Malik Neighbors played roughly 25% of his snaps out of the slot. Wan'Dale Robinson is a gimmicky player, that plays almost exclusively out of the slot. What happens when you get the shifty corner that can keep up with Wan'Dale Robinson? Where's your flex? What do you do to move the ball? Because you don't have a big receiver really on this team. I mean, Malik is-ish. He plays bigger than he is. But in terms of a big, high-point contested catch receiver, who you going to? 190-pound Darius Slayton? I don't think so. I want that seam stretcher. This also, complimentary drafting. That'll be a fun buzzword for the NFL draft sportsocracy drinking game. Because it opens up Theo Johnson. It's a guy you took in the 4th round last year. He should be a seam stretcher, but he needs help. You need somebody that can occupy one of those safeties, or you're just going to keep I can't say this the way I want to. You're going to keep urinating in a well until you finally tap out from him. You need somebody that can pull that safety away. Isaac Tesla can. Kid's freak athletic. He played in a non-pass happy offense that pushed the stats down. That's a really good football player.
All right, traded away 105 with 34 to get up to 30 to get Jackson Dart and the 5th-year option on the quarterback. So 3 picks left here for the Giants, 154, 219, and 246.
The first one's Tyron Ingram's Dawkins, who you would know from Georgia. He's an undersized edge. I think he plays more as for me, he's more of a 5-tech playing in that 3-4 role. For me, he's a replacement to Rakeem Nunez-Roches. You can put him in on passing downs because I think that's where he's really going to shine. Gives you another little element of pass rush. I'm not a big fan of Nunez-Roches, and then when you really have to get after a quarterback, he doesn't provide much at all.
No, he does not. As a guy who spent a couple of years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I can tell you, not much on the pass rush front, but he was a pretty good run stuffer with us,
for sure.
All right, 219.
219 is a player that they have brought in for. I'm trying to figure out what they brought him in for. I can't find it was either a visit, they brought him in for something. It's Caleb Rogers from Texas Tech. I think there's high-end upside with him that I don't see out of a lot of these. A lot of these linemen that you take in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, maybe you can get a starter out of him, but it's going to be a low-level starter. Caleb Rogers has high-level traits that could translate into a high-end starter. Whether he will or not, I don't know. But that's the kind of shot that I want to take later here in the draft.
All right, and the final one at 246.
Oh, and I did this backwards. I just said the one at 246. 219 was Ollie Gordon, the second running back from Oklahoma State. I need more of a thumper between the tackles, and they brought him in for a visit. That was, by the way, the screw up here. They talked to Caleb Rogers at the Combine. They brought Ollie Gordon in for a top 30 visit. And I like him as a between-the-tackles runner. Look, there might be something there. He was just so bad last year. He's going to fall like a rock. He's not fast. He doesn't have great burst. So he's going to fall. And he's going to fall to a specific kind of team that can make use of the fact that he is going to really bruise between the tackles. And I need a guy like that. And I add that to Marcus Mbow, complimentary drafting. I have a run grader that can open up those holes for him, and I think it really gives you some nice pieces for the Giants.
That is the Giants A-plus mock draft here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Eagles living the dream tour will ride once again for the draft up in Green Bay at the end of this month. We always want to make sure that we spread the love to Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Parks Ford of Hendersonville for the use of the mobile studio. Clarissa sells WBNC.com for her never-ending support for our stupid little dream here on the radio. And, of course, our newest sponsor, Bears Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville. 2 locations, one in downtown Asheville on Cox Avenue, the other in South Asheville on Sweeten Creek Road. We'll be right back here in the Sportsocracy with some breaking news.
ESPN
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
10-4. I'll be right back.
68.8 yesterday.
Something's burning in my house. I think it's my wife with the oven.
Now the colder air.
Yowzer.
Yeah, I don't think it's on fire, but I think she is using the oven, and I smell. Make sure that that's not been overcooked discussion.
Everybody, though, it's going to be at or below.
Gotcha.
Wednesday, sunshine, near 60. Next chance of showers, Thursday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by
Bojangles. It's always bow time.
It's bow time. The Bojangles made-from-scratch biscuit is so good, we gave it a sidekick. That's just as never frozen, just as fluffy, just as delicious. We call them the Buttermilk Beauties. Get 2 sausage and egg biscuits for just $5. It's bow time.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things homeownership. Rocket. Own the dream.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
From the very beginning, iHeart has believed in me.
Even now, I still get excited when I hear one of my songs playing on the radio.
Thank you, iHeartRadio, for honoring the truth I've fought for in my music.
Because we believe in the power of music. All your favorite artists, all in one place. The free iHeartRadio app.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has 2 things that all Sportsocracy fans crave. Bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with
Is this the last
cheese,
commercial?
pulled pork, cornbread, and yes, sir.
Okay.
Topped with bacon and cheese sauce.
Slightly
This
funny
is the place
story.
to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, coming to you live here on an A-plus mock draft day. Going through AFC East, NFC East teams. Do want to take this opportunity to give a big shout-out, even though I know they're not listening, but I have to do it because, well, I'm their dad. Happy birthday to the Twins. The Twins have turned 14 years old now. I am, but a year away from learner's permits and 2 years away from driver's licenses, and I'm starting to think that maybe I should just lock them away in their rooms. I mean, I don't know if I can legally get away with that, but maybe for a little while. It's going by way too fast. Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart every time I have the Facebook memory pop up from where I was 14 years ago today. But here we are. Happy birthday, boys.
Well, on the bright side, you have made a tremendous transition from 14 years ago today. So it's going by a little slower than you think because there's a much better chance of you seeing the end of it.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Anyway,
we had a we had a Facebook
to...
memory pop up on our show page, and I went, "Good God, how much did Tank weigh in this picture?"
If I don't try to skewer myself to death before then.
Oh, yeah, stop doing laundry.
Yeah, I can't. Say la vie. It's all over now. I'm in big boy shoes again. Things are good. The foot's healed nicely. Recovering. I still can't tie the shoe, but the shoe's on. All right, we're getting there. We're getting closer and closer to 100%. Before the NFL draft. We do have.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
We got breaking news, Jeremy, and it involves one of your favorite teams.
Oh God, what fresh hell are you about to walk me into? I'm scared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the breaking news came to us courtesy of a super chat, so I got to play that one too.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
All right, Soaring Eagle weighs in and says, breaking NBA news per Shams Charania from out of nowhere, your Denver Nuggies have fired Mike Malone. What?
Why?
I thought they were okay. Well, I mean, you're like the third best team in the West right now, or maybe second best team in the West. What would be the purpose in that? Did he get Ime Udoka?
It beats me. I mean, yeah, they've lost a few games in a row, but why in the world would you fire Mike? The NBA is so dumb. This is the second coach of a team that's going to end up as a top 6 seed in the playoffs that will have fired their coach within 15 games of starting the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. The Denver Nuggets have reportedly fired head coach Mike Malone and general manager Calvin Booth. Wow. In the final week of the NBA regular season, just less than 2 years after they won the NBA title. Woof.
That's dumb. Can you imagine if an NFL team did that? Like, you got a team that's going into the playoffs as like the
coach.
They're going into the playoffs as the 5 seed, and they fire their coach. We would literally crucify them relentlessly for months at a time.
No doubt about it. Taylor Jenkins with the Memphis Grizzlies. He got fired like a month ago.
Yeah, there was a little bit more to that. That was
there? I never heard.
They did a story on.
This is a weird time.
So they did a story on ESPN.com that was basically about how the offense was stagnating under him. So they brought in some coach from like the Euro League that implemented a completely different offensive scheme. Who is, by the way, now the head coach. And the ownership group was so bought into that they let everybody affiliated with Taylor Jenkins go. It sounded like there was going to be a mutiny in the building. So, and I honestly, I believe they chose the wrong side. It was the European coach that they should have let go. But the Nuggets, I couldn't tell you. And I'll go ahead and Mike Malone's one of the best coaches in that league. I don't know who you think you're going to hire. They're going to be 28% of what Mike Malone was.
Mike Malone won 471 games for the Denver Nuggets in 6 years. They made the playoffs 6 times under him.
Okay,
this is why I don't even try to make it make sense anymore.
All right, so I'm not going to lie. I am a lapsed NBA fan, mainly because your sport is stupid, and you run it stupid, and you make me not want to watch it. So I will throw the caveat of unless Mike Malone drove to the stadium this morning with a dead transient in his trunk and Calvin Booth helped him bury said transient, this is stupid. I mean, I can't tell you it didn't happen.
Agree.
That's the only explanation I've got that's not completely moronic.
Yeah. Apparently David Adelman, is that Rick Adelman's kid?
It is.
Is going to be taking over.
Yeah, he was one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah, interim head coach.
I mean, look, and there's a lot of belief that he could one day become a great head coach in this league. Mike Malone already was one. I'm really not trying to throw shade at David Adelman here. This would be like leaving your wife for a blow-up doll. I mean, I guess if that's what you're into, but wow.
I don't know what else you're expecting. Like, if that guy can't keep a job in the NBA, then nobody can keep a job in the NBA.
Well, I mean, Greg Popovich is going to be retiring. Steve Kerr's the only coach in the NBA with any kind of jobs. Him and Eric Spoelstra, that's it.
Yeah. Wow. Mike Malone will have a job. Hey, Charlotte Hornets, go get an actual coach.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he could probably do better.
Oh, I'm sure.
Unless you get Cooper Flagg, at which case then he might be intrigued.
Unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
Cooper Flagg, as I like to call him, a poor man's Ryan Braun. I was being facetious, Tank.
Okay, thank you. Because I'm trying to figure out, like, wait a minute. You don't like Cooper Flagg?
No,
Everybody
like
else does. Why don't you like
Yeah,
Cooper
I like
Flagg?
Cooper Flagg a lot. I don't understand why he wasn't the one inbounding that ball that got picked off by Houston, but, hey, what do I know?
Hey, yeah.
I did finally call my best friend is a lifelong Duke fan, and I could not bring myself to call him Saturday. Sunday, every time I went to dial his phone number, I started laughing, and I thought that'd be rude, so I didn't want to do that. I finally called him yesterday. He answered the phone and said, I have a feeling I don't want to hear anything you're about to say to me. You might be right, but it really was more sympathy than it was anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, Duke fans, you got this to lean on. You're the betting favorite to win the championship next year.
Woo!
So they must have another banger class coming in.
They do.
For next year, because they're losing everybody this year.
Well, allegedly. There is talk that we could run it back for one more to get to actually fit. I've heard that a lot in the last 3 days.
Not with Cooper Flagg, you can't.
That was one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
That would be amazing.
I think that's called reading tea leaves of Mama and Daddy have a whole mess of money. Cooper Flagg's making a whole mess of money at Duke, and maybe he could bypass the NBA. I don't believe that's going to happen, but it is out there.
I believe that'd be the first time it's ever happened.
We have 2 Super Chats to hit before we get into that last run of NFC East A-plus mock drafts and team needs in the final hour.
All right, good deal. Let's hit them after the break.
Well, they're both short, so we can do it very quick.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
All right, well, let's do them real quick before the top of the hour break here then.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
The first one was Soaring Eagle confirming to us that Calvin Booth indeed was gone as well.
Ugh.
Which is almost as insane as Mike Malone, but
right.
And the second one from our buddy Red C, who only says, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the NBA. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to know why people don't watch your sport? Because you do dumb stuff. I was trying to trying to split the difference there, but I couldn't find a way to do it.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We have NFC East A-plus mock drafts coming up in the next hour. First up, the Dallas Cowboys. Stick with us.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
All right, 68 and 0.8 yesterday, 68 degrees and 0.8 inches of rainfall. Now the colder air coming in. Sunshine, breezy today, 52, will not feel like it. Tonight, mainly clear, upper 20s. There are some freeze warnings off to our east. Everybody, though, is going to be at or below freezing. Wednesday, sunshine, near 60. Next chance of showers, Thursday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Britt and Tilson.
What's up, Western North Carolina? It's Billy Britt and Matt Burns with Britt and Tilson Glass, home of the Shower Door Company. Give us a call or text for all your glass and shower door needs at 828-469-0600 or visit us at brittandtilson.com.
Your HMI Pro Glazer.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Expecting a new baby? At Haywood Regional Medical Center, they help deliver joy. With private suites, you can welcome your newest family member in comfort, surrounded by loved ones. Their expert team of doctors, nurses, and midwives provide personalized care close to home. Plus, they offer classes to help you prepare for labor, postpartum, and newborn care. Haywood Regional Medical Center, helping you and your baby live your healthiest life. Learn more or schedule a tour at myhaywoodregional.com.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Welcome to Harvest Farms, where the best organic or natural products are waiting for you, where the fields are filled with flavorful delights, and every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness
1 minute
that can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. Call me today, Clarissa Marshall, at 828-774-6343. When it comes to real estate, we're here for what matters most, you.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy. Just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
From the Ingles studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Live from the Ingles studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog eat! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. You can view us as we come to you from our separate studios here, the Ingles studio here at Radio Ranch, and then the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor, as Jeremy Green continues to put the finer touches of the 2025 NFL Draft scouting process before us each and every day here. NFLDraft.net, that is your source, or should be your source, for everything you need to know leading up to the draft. Player profiles, you got mock drafts, player rankings, all the such here, working with the Sportsocracy. A-plus mock drafts in the NFC East. What do the Dallas Cowboys need? Can the Dallas Cowboys change your mind about the prospects of their next season with an A-plus mock draft, Jeremy?
No.
It's going to be grim regardless.
I'm not wild about it. I don't think it's a very good team. And I don't think they're going to be a very good team. And I don't really think there's anybody that's going to change that. I mean, you talk about team needs for this team. How many pressing needs do you think the Dallas Cowboys have for me?
I would say 6.
Okay, so no team in the NFL has 6 pressing needs. It's not an expansion team. That's not how the draft works. We don't give you a pick in the middle of the round and then give you another one. So they've got 5, though. Legitimately, they've got 5.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they have to add an offensive lineman. I really think they need 2, to be really honest with you. I know they added Robert Jones. That doesn't change much for me. Tyler Guyton was terrifyingly bad last year. Now you have no Zach Martin. So I think you need 2 offensive linemen. I think you need a defensive tackle because your defensive tackle room, Mozzie Smith has been brutally bad. Brutally bad. Do you realize in the last 2 years, in 2 years combined, how many defensive tackles, according to PFF, have graded worse than him combined?
Oh, I'd say 0.
It's 1. He was
Really?
130 last year 2 years ago in 2023. He was 130 and 130. Last year he was 117 and 118.
Wow.
And last year he was the worst one in the league by a lot. So you got to deal with that. I think you still need a weapon of some kind because right now your receiving core is Gnarls Barkley. Jalen Tolbert, you're legit too. Can you name me the third receiver on this team?
Turpin.
Kevontae Turpin is he's a kick returner.
A kick returner. Yeah.
You're running into either Jonathan Mingo or Jalen Brooks or Ryan Flournoy or Paris Campbell. Oh.
No, you were all about Ryan Flournoy, though, weren't you?
To be honest with you, I think Flournoy is the best one of the bunch. And he was pretty good last year, too, by the way.
Yeah, that was your little boyfriend from, what little school did he go to?
Oh, let's see if he can get it right.
I want to say it was a directional school.
It is. It's a double directional school, as a matter of fact.
Southwest Poughkeepsie State.
You started so good and ended so badly because that doesn't exist. Southeast Missouri State.
Southeast Missouri. There you go. Yeah, you were all about some Ryan Flournoy. They made the trade last year with Jonathan Mingo, but yeah, I mean it's CeeDee Lamb and just a bunch of dudes.
It's a bunch of 4s. I mean, they legit they have a bunch of 4s. So you have to add one of those. I mean, my 5 pressing needs for the Dallas Cowboys are in order: wide receiver, running back, guard, offensive tackle, defensive tackle. You've got to have weapons or none of this matters because teams are going to absolutely blitz the bejesus out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you pick at 12, and I don't think positional value says you're taking a running back there. I don't think there is a receiver that is worth 12. Matthew Golden's too high. I don't think Ted McMillan's going to be there. I have a real belief that Ted McMillan's either going to the Panthers at 8, and that's maybe 5%, or the Saints at 9. So you got to take positional value. So at 12, I'm going to address one of those offensive line spots. I'm going Armin Mimbu. I don't believe he's going as high as everybody's telling me. That he's going 7 to the Jets. He could go as high as 5 to Jacksonville. I don't buy that because the tape doesn't dictate that. However, I have already seen Dallas take a player that reminds me a lot of Mimbu in Tyler Smith. That they pushed into guard. He's played tackle. I think Mimbu's kind of the same thing. He's so athletic. He's got such long arms. And the technique is good. I don't think he has ever settled into this is where I'm going to play. And we're losing our mind about all of our measurables. And you're taking him ahead of Kelvin Banks. You're taking him ahead of Will Campbell in some instances. That doesn't make any sense to me. In this, they're both gone. So Mimbu's the 3. I don't really care where you slot him. I think he can be an elite guard. I think he can be a pretty high-end right tackle. One way or the other, I know he's going to play somewhere, and he's going to be better than what I actively have. And I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. So I take the layup at 12.
Okay. Go with the offensive lineman, the tackle, Armin Mimbu. And then what can you address at 44? Is this the wide receiver slot?
I'm going to go wide receiver. Maybe not for the reason that people would think. I'm also not going to take the player that people would think. So last year, CeeDee Lamb played about half his snaps out of the slot. It was 413 to 396. At this point, you're going to have to put CeeDee Lamb. He's going to have to get in where he fits in. Because CeeDee's the one thing that I know is a no-doubter. He'll win on the outside. He'll win on the inside. I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver gets super slotty super quickly. As a matter of fact, it's Tet McMillan goes, if you don't get Trey Harris or Alec Ayumanor, and I think they're both going in the 30s, if you don't get one of those two guys, you're taking a guy that's going to play out of the slot. So if I'm Dallas, would you not swing for the fences? Getting the safe receiver, the Jack Betch or Jalen Royals or Torrey Horton, that's not going to move the needle. I'm going to take Luther Burden the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Because what if I'm wrong? And I'm willing to admit I've been wrong on I'm wrong on 50 players a year. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm wrong, Luther Burden should not be here at 44, and I almost can't find a way that he's not going to be. So you have to manufacture his touches. Okay, you've got a really accurate quarterback in Dak Prescott. He can take some of those slot snaps from CeeDee Lamb, put CD on the outside. I think you can bunch those two together on the same side, and it's really difficult to deal with. Then you put a bigger receiver on the other side in Jonathan Mingo. The hope is that Brian Schottenheimer can figure out how to get him open deep. Because, look, Mingo was the first of these Ole Miss receivers that they all kind of play the same position where they play on the outside and they're not blindingly fast, but they do a really good job of finding space deep. If you can do that, your receiving core is not that bad. It's not elite by any stretch, but I think that's your highest range of outcome. You talked earlier about Ryan Flournoy, who I really like. I think he's going to be a legit 3rd, 4th receiver in this league, and you got him in the 6th round. He played almost all of his snaps out wide last year. So when you really break it down, Dallas almost kind of falls into a better position here of to be more multiple. I need one of these guys that play out of the slot. I need a guy that I can manufacture touches because I don't really trust my running back. So if I'm having to throw screen passes to Luther Burden, it doesn't really matter all that much. That's kind of an extension of the run game. So I'm looking at a role for him that kind of mirrors what Deebo Samuel did in San Francisco. I may actually hand him the ball out of the backfield at times. I don't care. I need somebody that's good with the ball in their hand. He is more than 44th pick in the draft talented. But there's a lot of buts with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Dallas is a good fit.
All right, Dallas's next pick is at 76. Do you go back into offensive lineman here since guard's getting
It's getting a little thin. I do.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, and I should point this out, Dallas had Luther Burden in for a top 30 visit just a few days ago. It's one of the ways that I put these together. Hey, another player they had in for a top 30 visits, who I'm taking here at 76, Jonas Savanea, the guard tackle hybrid out of Arizona. I really like the idea of pairing these two together because I think they would play tremendously well on the same side together. And they're both such good movers. They're such good pull players. and you look at Dallas, even if you were to move Tyler Smith, I don't really care what you do. This is two really good movers. Now you look at what they have locked in place. Cooper Beebe is not an elite mover. So you add two guys that are, it makes you more multiple in the run game. And when I do add a running back, and I'll go ahead and tell you it's not going to take long before I do that, it gives you different ways of springing them in space, whether it's outside, whether it's between the tackles, which is why I think you signed Javonte Williams, is to play that role. And I'm going to try to find somebody that can bounce to the outside, and now I'm just flat out more multiple. And look, this is the last of my high-end capital. I don't pick again until the middle of the 5th round. So that's 3, to me, big shots I've taken. Are they risky? Mm-hmm. Sure. They are all 3 risky to a point. Mimbu, he may just be an athletic freak. May not be that great of a football player. Burden may never be able to get the ball in his hands. Savanea, weight's going to be an issue, and where does he play? But, man, if you hit all 3 of those, this could be the best draft the Dallas Cowboys have had in 20 years.
No doubt. Those are 3 potential impact immediate starters.
For sure.
Hopefully you won't have to use them that way, but you could if you needed to. All right, so let's skip down to 149.
This is where I'm going to get the running back. This is the best top-end speed running back in this class. It's Byshell Tootin from Virginia Tech. And look, he ran the fastest 40 at the combine among running backs. He is high-end elusive. I'm in like, not love. He's a really compact guy, but he's got track speed. Now, the knock on him, to me, is he fumbles way too much. He had 9 fumbles in 2 years. And he gets he really wants to hit the home run on every play. That's the reason I don't think he's a 1. I think he's a 2. I also hear people talk about how he's going to be this great back out of the backfield as a pass catcher. He can't block. Like, at all. So, to me, he's more of a early down back, trying to get in front of the chains, run some play action with him, get him out in space, because you have to keep the defense off balance with him because he's that bad of a blocker. Teams will see him in on pass downs, and they will send an extra blitzer just to keep him from getting out in the flat. Like, I'm going to make you on that option route, I'm going to make you stay in here. That delay, I'm going to make you stay in here because I'm going to run you over. But, man, is he good. When you get him to the outside, he is really, really good. Also, really, really good in zone. Just throwing that out there.
Byshell Tootin, the running back. What do they need at 174?
174 is where I go Shamar James. I'm in like, not love with their linebacking core. You know how I felt about DeMarvion Overshown last year. And I think in before he got hurt, I think he showed why I was so fond of him. They added Jack Sanborn. I think that's good. They added Kenneth Murray. I think that's good. But you see how I keep hesitating on each one of those?
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's not great. I still feel like there's another player that you're going to need in there somewhere. I don't know that it's Shamar James. Shamar James, in terms of just sheer, you walk into this kid in a hotel lobby, he looks like he would absolutely just wreck your soul. The tape's just super inconsistent. He needs to be, I think, basically take not a blip year, but just be used situationally for a year, and then you can see what you get out of him a year from now. He's really bad in coverage, but he is a thumper against the run.
All right, after Shamar James.
Shamar James, also a guy that the Cowboys have been attached to in this process. You're going to see a common theme with once we get past about 170, you just assume this is somebody they've talked to at some point.
Mm-hmm. 5 picks in the 200s.
Yes, so 204, we start with Tim Smith, defensive tackle from Alabama. I don't think there's a ton of super high upside. I don't think there's a lot of downside, though, either. I don't hear anybody talk about him. He's not the physical freak, but I feel like he's good. He kind of reminds me of Sheldon Rankins. He's never going to be the best defensive lineman on a team, but I also think he's going to play in the league for about 10 years because he plays up and down the line. He's really strong, and he probably keeps his pad level better than, I'm not going to say any defensive tackle in this class, but most of them. PFF's comp on him was John Ridgeway. And once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. Hey, Tank, how many times did I say John Ridgeway's name the year he got drafted?
A bunch.
5,014.
Mm-hmm.
I loved him so much. He's bounced around the league like a ping pong ball. And now he plays for the
but
Washington
he can
Commanders.
bench press 14 bales of hay.
He can. He can. Dude, I'm still not to the point you can talk smack. Okay, like
No, I just remember that was the line, was that this kid's lived on a farm and he built the whole thing with his bare hands.
Yes. And he will fight you like a grown man if you try to take it away from him.
Yes. He's out there punching trees and stuff. All right, after Tim Smith?
Elijah Huzzy from North Carolina. This is your slot corner, I think, moving forward. You don't really have one at the moment that makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Trayvon Diggs plays very little out of the slot. Deron Blanchard plays even less out of the slot. So I think you need a guy, and I love Elijah Huzzy. The thing I don't understand is why his tape kept getting worse and worse and worse. That's weird to me. But the talent at North Carolina kept getting worse and worse and worse. He was asked to do more and more. But I think among slot corners, he's in my top 5 in this class. And you get him here this late, that's really, really, really good value.
Okay. And then?
217 is the next pick. And I lost it on my screen. Where did you go? They have more picks. I don't know where they just went, but they do have more.
They do. 217, 239, and 247.
There they are. 217, Samuel Brown from Miami. That's the height, weight, speed receiver that you're just, if that kid ever figures it out, he's going to be special. But then my question with those guys is always, but why weren't you better in college? So you're a height, weight, speed guy that is, you would think playing against college athletes, that would be where you really see them show out. Because Sam Brown's over 6'2". I don't have his measurement up in front of me. He only had 36 catches last year. With really good speed, he only averaged 14 yards per catch. He only had one game with over 100 yards receiving. He's just kind of a bizarre prospect to me, but that's why you can get him this late.
Mm-hmm.
Just sheer talent, he should go higher than that. I just don't think he will.
All right, next.
The last two are guys that they have been attached to. I do not have draftable grades on these guys, but they have been attached to them over the course of the process. The first one is Justin Barron. He's a linebacker from Syracuse. I did not see a ton to him, but Dallas has they've been on him at his pro day. They were on him for a top 30 visit. I always tend to stack these 7th-round picks with guys that you invest like that. And then the final one is one of the better names in this class. Rivaldo Fairweather, tight end out of Auburn.
Rivaldo
Fairweather, tight end out of Auburn. And he was the last non-draftable tight end for me. I want to love him because he is a BDD. But like everything about him screams this is not going to work. Contested catch rate was too low. Yards per route run was low. He does have good hands. I will give him that. He's got really good hands, and he did have a handful of deep catches down the middle last year. But Dallas has been on him since the start of the process. So figured with this many picks, might as well throw out a couple. Hey, this guy was in your building. You should probably remember this name.
Right. We got another super chat here just before the break.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And it was from Red Sea. Red Sea says, pressing needs for Dallas, owner and a head coach. Well, those can't be addressed in the draft, unfortunately.
And did he say it twice?
He did.
He really wanted to get that out there.
Yes. Well, he really wanted to reiterate because the second one was all caps.
That's aggressively knowing how to play the social media game. I'm going all caps the second time because I really mean
That's
it.
Right. Right. Dallas Cowboys' biggest needs. Two of them can't be addressed in this draft.
By the way, this is a great time to point out.
You got a joke of an owner and a joke of a head coach.
By the way, this is a great time to point out. If you want to yell on the internet, that's how you do it. You have to put some things the way that normal people type. If you just yell everything, then we just think you're a crazy person that's yelling at squirrels and children. That was to our YouTube comments because we have about 4 dudes that everything they say is in all caps. And it just makes me think that you're sitting at your house pissed at your children because they didn't go to business school and mad because they didn't marry that girl from high school. Like, you're just mad at everything they've ever done, and you've never told them you love them.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. 2 more teams in the NFC East to get to before the end of the program. Coming up next, that team on the rise, the Washington Commanders. They got an opportunity. This offseason has already been great. How can they knock out the draft? Coming up next.
Hard work and dreams lead to success, but easily filing your tax.
You're clear.
And Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. Make filing taxes a walk.
This offseason's already been great because they found the up-and-coming draft analyst.
Winner.
Oh, here it is.
Help. Let's go. Being powered by TurboTax means you're backed by the lead.
I got to remember when I play the cutscene that if I don't put the other screen up, then it just comes right back to us. That's the second time I've done it.
All products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
Hi, I'm Anthony Serrato, chef and owner of Strada Italiano. Our newest venture, Gemelli, honors our multi-generational family-owned restaurant legacy and Italian heritage by serving authentic regional Italian cuisine. My son,
Big ol' Biggins,
has created a menu that embraces quality ingredients, house-made fresh pastas, and everything is made fresh to order. We want everyone to enjoy Italian food the way.
Oh, I did not see Workman had said, hey, say that louder.
And vegan options as well. Learn more.
So that's why he put it in all caps.
I was 16 when first convicted. I spent
Red Sea said, apparently I've done that the whole stream. Awesome. That means you've they've been sitting there just watching us like stare at our computer screens like idiots.
Is the gritty true crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to remember to not do
risky
that.
bank robberies and swift police arrests. And the man who fought his way out of some of the darkest places imaginable to go from an ex-con to a best-selling author almost overnight. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Go Boy, and start listening today.
ESPN Asheville, broadcasting from the Ingalls studio at Radio Ranch. Log on to ESPNAVL.com and make us your #1 preset on the iHeartRadio app. ESPN Asheville, #1 for sports coverage in the mountains.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of...
I just got an email. Do you want to give away rodeo tickets? Nope.
First responders.
Pass.
No, I don't.
Community heroes. Heroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
When the springtime flowers are in bloom and the morning songbirds begin to greet you each morning, you know that the magic of Easter is right around the corner. Easter magic begins at Ingles.
The Sportsocracy.
You are a regular nuclear meltdown. You better cool off.
All right, we are back at the Sportsocracy, so the yelling wasn't just for no reason. I didn't see that someone else had told Red Sea in the chat, you need to say it louder for the people in the back, and then he put it in all caps, that the Dallas Cowboys' biggest need was a new owner and a new head coach for the 2025 NFL Draft.
That's strong tandem work
many,
from the House of Reprehensibles.
Yes. I think there are many Dallas Cowboys fans who feel like they need an overhaul at both of those positions, but everyone else in the NFC East is saying, no, we're good. We're good. You keep doing what you're doing. It's working fine. As the Cowboys seem to be riding that landslide right into the abyss here. Brings us to our next team in the NFC East, the surprise of this past season. The Washington Commanders had an even better offseason, and now there's Super Bowl talk.
Phenomenal team.
With Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Their A-plus mock draft from Flostradamus, Jeremy Green.
It's a phenomenal team. Really well run from the top down. Absolutely know what they're doing. Love me some Washington Commanders.
Just laying it on thick there.
Oh, yeah. I believe Washington is in the best spot to trade down of any team in this class.
Okay.
Because all right, so be really honest with yourself. What does Washington need? And now understand, I just did a mock for Washington where I gave them Jalen Walker. So I'm trying to do something different here because now that I've seen that, I can't unsee it. And I just want them to I want him to fall in their lap and they live happily ever after.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the same answer, I think, for everyone you've asked me so far. Secondary. You don't have a good secondary.
Well, and it's interesting you said that because I do look at Washington and go, it's going to get better. And look, they added Jonathan Jones this offseason. I like him a lot as a slot corner. I feel like that kind of locks Sanders still into the outside position. He played a ton out there last year and he was pretty good. You're kind of in this boat of you've got a lot invested in that secondary. I would like to add a safety. I don't know that that's going to work. Because this safety class is so bad. I just don't want to reach. If I'm Washington, I'm trying to add better players every single time I come on the board. Now, you added Laramie Tunsil. I evaluated Brandon Coleman as a guard. So I went a little different route here of I've got to protect Jaden Daniels. So I traded down from 28 with the Jets to 42. My two favorite teams trading with each other. It's like watching your children get along. It's a beautiful thing. I gave up 29. I got 42 and 73. I also had to give up a 26 mid-round pick. That's not really relevant for what we're doing here. So now I have 42, 61, 73, 128, 205, and 245. Washington only has 5 picks. So I feel like you almost have to trade down if I'm going A+. So then I got to 42, and I went, all right, my biggest needs are at edge, because I do want an edge rusher. I really like the honey hole at edge in that, basically the third round on the hole. There's a corner that I've already identified that I'm telling you right now I'm taking him here. I want a running back as early as I can get one. I want an offensive lineman, preferably a tackle, so I can slide Coleman into guard and use Allegretti as a rotational piece. I'm going Josh Connerly Jr. at 42.
Okay.
Because fact or fiction, having those two, having Laramie Tunsil and Josh Connerly on the outside protecting Jaden Daniels, that gives me my bookends for basically for his entire rookie deal.
Yes.
Because I've got what I think is an elite left tackle in Laramie Tunsil. I've got what I think is an elite prospect in Josh Connerly, who, yes, he's never played right tackle, but I think he can. He's still learning how to play the position. This kid was a running back 3 years ago. He's got great feet. They had him in for a top 30 visit. And then you look at how mobile Jaden Daniels is. Does it not strike you that you would want a guy with a right-handed quarterback that's on the right side that is that mobile to get out in front of him?
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Coleman's not that guy. Brandon Coleman is a giant. And he's fleet of foot for a guy that's 340 pounds. But he's 340 pounds. So I slide Coleman to the inside, and now I'm looking at my offensive line going, that's pretty good. That offensive line's pretty good. That should allow me to run the ball. That should allow Jaden Daniels to do anything he wants to do. And I still have picks to take care of the other positions that I want to take care of.
Okay, so the next pick comes at where?
61.
61.
So, I'm sure everybody in the Asheville market has figured out. I do a lot of stuff with the Commanders now. Those guys have become really good friends, and I really love – it's always good when you find teams like that where you get along with the host to such a point that you can just have honest conversations. It's just like me and Tank. Tank and I do not have to do show prep. We can turn on a microphone and just go. The Commanders guys, I'm the same way with them. We don't have to prep this. We can just start talking before a show, hit record, and go an hour and a half. And that's really refreshing. It's also cool that their fan base is so kind. What I learned on my mock draft that came out in alignment with my last appearance with them, their fans really want a running back, and they want one really, really bad. So I'm going to give them one. It's Caleb Johnson, the kid out of Iowa. But he's not a great passing down back. I don't care because I have Austin Eckler. This is the home run hitter that with my new and improved offensive line, this kid could run for 1,200 yards as a rookie, and it would not surprise me in the least. Because he is so good running between the tackles. He's got great play speed. He's built like an NFL running back. He's not one of these 5'8", 198-pound running. I don't want one of those. I've got a guy that can get to the outside. His name is Jaden Daniels. I need a guy that when I need 3 yards can go get me 3 yards. Brian Robinson, I love him to death, but he did not do that consistently enough last year for Washington. He can still be a part of this rotation, but Caleb Johnson's going to be the head of that snake. And getting him at 61, and I've started out with 2 of my top 35 prospects in this class, after I had originally only had the 28th pick, I feel really good about that.
But is it is it likely that he's still going to be there?
The maturity issues push him down.
Okay.
Now, his range is somewhere in the second round. I don't think he's getting out of the second round. There are people that have passed him with Quinshad Judkins, have passed him with Travion Henderson, which to me is insane on both. But I think they're going to end up going ahead of him, and that could push him more to the back of the second round if he doesn't go to the Bears. I know the Bears love him too.
Yeah, and thus leaves him here at 61.
Exactly.
Okay. Next.
Now I'm going to get my edge rusher, and this kid has been screaming up boards. He had a top 30 visit with Washington, I believe, late last week. And I really struggle to pronounce this kid's name. Ashton Gallott from Louisville. I thought it was Quixote for the longest time, but apparently he is not related to Don Quixote. It's Galot.
It's different dudes. Yes.
There's a weird tier, and it's like the Braden Swensons, the Kyle Kennards. I think this kid kind of falls into that because he's really strong. And he's just an absolute warrior motor-wise. I did not like him at first nearly as much because the production wasn't there. And then I went back and watched the tape and really started looking at him in the 1v1s. This kid wins a lot. And this kid wins multiple different ways a lot. And if you're looking for somebody that can line up on the outside of that Washington defense, that 3-4 defense, because look, they added Dietrich Wise, who I think is going to come in and be one of those edge players. They invested money in Dorrance Armstrong. I know everybody wants them to have that edge rusher, but you got to look at where they've invested the money. And then you look at where the front seven of this team sits. You've got a player in Deron Payne that I think is a good, not great pass rusher. You basically have 3 converted defensive tackles playing on your line right now. I think Javon Kinlaw will be able to rush the passer. Johnny Newton's probably the one that plays in the middle. If I can add Ashton Galot to this team to play in that front 3, I have a rotation of 4 guys that I should be able to keep pretty fresh, and none of them are specific to what position they play. Would I like to have a more true nose tackle? Sure. But I've got Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner back behind it, which really protects that. This is a way different build of a defense than I have ever seen. But once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. And I think that helps you get more out of Dietrich Wise. It helps you get more out of Dorrance Armstrong. And there might even be guys down the roster that end up being, I'm not going to say great, but usable assets. Jacob Martin has been a good pass rusher in his career. That's all he does, but he's been good at. Cleveland Farrell, he's always been better at rushing the passer than everything else. He just gets washed out so much any other time he's on the field, it's hard to keep him out there. So it's possible that Washington's just going to go, you know what, we don't have the natural, the Abdul Carter or anybody like that. None of them fell to you in this. I mean, I'm sitting here at 28 looking at Mykel Williams going, nope, that doesn't fix it. That kid's not nearly a good enough pass rush for me to go, yep, I'm done now. Ashton Galot is a better pass rusher than Mykel Williams, and I'm not sure it's all that close. I didn't say he was a better player. He's a better pass rusher. Always remember, there's more than one way to skin this cat. It's not just the stand-up edges that get home.
All right, wrap us up on the Commanders here.
128 is my next pick, a guy that I actually talked about with the Commanders, Noel Williams. For as much as Dan Quinn plays man, I want a guy that can play that way. I think Noel Williams can do anything. He's just so aggressive in man coverage. And the more and more I watched him, that I couldn't stop thinking, if he played at Ohio State, how much higher would we be talking about this kid than we are right now? Is it just that he went to Cal and nobody was watching those East Coast games that late at night? Is that why he doesn't get the love? Because to me, he's right there with Maxwell Hairston. He's right there with Azareye'h Thomas. I actually like him better than Azareye'h Thomas. I don't have him rated ahead of him because his ceiling, I think, is a little bit behind Azareye'h. But in terms of all the things I could ever ask him to do, oh, by the way, he's really good against the run, too. Because he's a willing tackler. Mm-hmm. It's just a super physical corner that I really like in that Dan Quinn system. And then with 2 late picks, I go a receiver. I actually go 2 pass catchers. At 205, a guy that I know some of the people in our chat really like, Andrew Armstrong from Arkansas. He's another one of those Arkansas players that the numbers weren't necessarily there, because last year he had 1,140 yards, but he only had 1 touchdown. And you start breaking that down, But then you watch him and go, this kid wins over and over and over and over again. And he's 6'4", and he can play on the outside. So why in the world is he going so late? I can't figure it out. He's one that I'm going to have to watch more tape on him to figure out there's a big deficiency here somewhere that I'm not seeing, because I have him rated way higher than this. Every big board I've seen has him in the 200s, and I cannot wrap my brain around why. And then finally I go with a tight end, Caden Priscorn out of Ole Miss. He's risen later here in the process. He already has an AARP card because he is 25.5 right now.
Right.
But I think he serves as a nice number 2 tight end, got a stereotypical tight end build. Probably going to have to bulk up a little bit to be a true inline high-level blocker, but, I mean, he's got really soft hands, which is – it's rare to see out of a guy that you're going to get this late. I'm going to steal a Trevor Sycamore line here. He is one of the thinnest 255-pound guys you'll ever see in your life. Like, I saw him – I saw his weigh in and went, that's a lie. He had weights in his pockets or something. I don't know what he did, but he does not appear to be that big.
All right, the A-plus mock draft for the Washington Commanders. It's going to be like I said, it's already been a big offseason for the Commanders, and an A-plus mock draft may just very well put you at least at the top of this division like you were this past year, and then who knows, maybe a Super Bowl will be coming soon for the Commanders. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, proud to be partners with Bears Smokehouse Barbecue, 2 locations in Asheville, downtown Asheville, 135 Cox Avenue, one of our new favorite places to go catch a game and catch some balls with our mouths. Bear balls, moink balls, they are the premier menu items for Bears Smokehouse Barbecue. They got smoked wings. The dry rubbed smoked wings are incredible. They also have ribs. I'm telling you, every kind of meat that you want in your mouth, you can get it down on Cox Avenue. Bears Smokehouse Barbecue, they have live music every Thursday night, live music every weekend as well. You want to check them out at bearsbbq.com, the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy. Bears Smokehouse Barbecue.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Nice.
All right, 68 and 0.8 yesterday, 68 degrees and 0.8 inches of rainfall. Now the colder air coming in. Sunshine, breezy today, 52, will not feel like it. Tonight, mainly clear, upper 20s. Are some freeze warnings off to our east. Everybody, though, is going to be at or below freezing. Wednesday, sunshine, near 60. Next chance of showers, Thursday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by...
Oh, it's the most fun read I get to do every day.
Lowe's Pro Rewards program. Get exclusive member-only deals and volume discounts on eligible orders through a quote of $2,000.
I do.
Terms and restrictions apply.
So much more fun than poop hall.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
From the very beginning, iHeart has believed in me.
Even now, I still get excited when I hear one of my songs playing on the radio.
Thank you, iHeartRadio, for honoring the truth I've fought for in my music.
Because we believe in the power of music. All your favorite artists, all in one place. The free iHeartRadio app.
Bears Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has 2 things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors.
All right, so we'll have to
portions.
go quick on Philadelphia here.
And they've got the balls. Yes. Miss Bear balls are packed
Which
with
is
mac
unfortunate
and cheese,
because they have a
pulled
lot of
pork,
picks.
cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. Call me today, Clarissa Marshall, at 828-774-6343. When it comes to real estate, we're here for what matters most, you.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
All right, it is an A-plus mock draft kind of day here in the Sportsocracy. AFC East and NFC East teams. Philadelphia Eagles, A-plus mock draft. They've already won a title. How do they keep it going here? What do they really need?
Nothing. They have no red needs. They're the only team in the NFL does not have one. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you how I did this Philadelphia Eagles mock draft.
Okay.
I went to my board. I pulled every draft pick number they had, and I looked at the corresponding pick within 5 numbers of where they were. And I literally took the best player at every position. And if they had met with the kid, it was just kind of icing on the cake.
Yep.
I at no point ever had to cheat. Now, they had a couple players late that just wanted to get them out there because they've been attached to them.
So what steal are they getting in the first round at 32?
Give you one guess because it's the same one I keep giving them. It's Mykel Williams.
Mykel Williams.
This is a team that has about 1 billion pass rushers. So I actually could see that they have I could see them having a higher grade on Mykel Williams because I'm looking at how he would pair with Jalix Hunt. I'm looking at how he would pair with Nolan Smith. He may just be an early down edge rusher in the beginning. It may not matter how good of a pass rusher he is. You can develop him over time because you don't really need him. Philadelphia could trade every pick in this draft and still have the best roster 1 to 53 in the NFL by a pretty wide margin. That's how good this team is. There's not, and just before anybody asks me, there's not a guard worth taking at 32. So in an A-plus mock, I can't reach that hard. Because guard is the one position that I look at and go, that's a yellow need. You only have 2 of those.
All right. Their next pick at 64.
It's a kid they had a top 30 visit with, and this would be the guard for the future. It's Marcus Mbow. I think he really fits what they're looking for, and there is a possibility that with Lane Johnson getting older, he could ultimately be the right tackle that replaces him. Because I think you could start him at guard, and he would start immediately. He is a very ready-made player, even though he's a little thin. And 2-3 years from now, I mean, look, Lane Johnson's 35 years old, so he ain't going to play forever. And that's – with Philadelphia, what is the smartest thing you could possibly do? In the first round, you take the player that shouldn't be there because he's more than a top 30. He's a better than top 31 talent, even if I don't love all the things he does, and I don't necessarily think he's a pass rusher per se. Second round, you need a guard. He just so happens one of the best players on the board is a guy that's getting pushed down because, well, he's a little thin. Awesome. You did the same thing with Cam Jurgens. He was a little thin too, and now he's one of the best centers in the league. So you do it again with Marcus Mbow at 64.
Okay, how about 96?
96 is more a pet project for me. Philadelphia really loves taking edge rushers. I took an edge rusher at 32 that is more of a run defender than an edge. So here I'm going to take the true natural 5-tech with Elijah Roberts. You know how much I like this kid. Started as a defensive end, then kind of moved all around the place at SMU and was just an absolute wrecking ball at SMU. also had a top 30 visit with Philadelphia. Philadelphia is fun for me to mock draft because basically all I have to do is look at the board and go, hey, take the team out of it. Who would you draft? And just keep doing that, and you're probably in the ballpark.
At 134.
134, another guy they had a top 30 visit with. I want them to have a running back. I do not like how much weight you put on Saquon Barkley last year. I get it. He's a Terminator. I'm well aware of all those things. I'm going to go Jaden Blue because I think he can be a legit third down back that will take some of that pressure off of Saquon Barkley. I get it. You have other running backs on the roster. You went and got A.J. Dillon. I don't think A.J. Dillon gives you what he would have a year ago after the injury. I've heard that he may have lost a step, and he's more of the between the tackles guy anyway because he's so big and thick and strong. Will Shipley is more a special teams guy than he is anything. Jaden Blue would give you a legit weapon out of the backfield in the passing game.
All right, and then the Eagles have 4 picks between 161 and 168.
And I took these guys have been super popular in the process, and I believe there's a great chance that Philadelphia goes, hey, we don't have any of those late picks, so we're just going to take all these guys you wanted right in front of you. Jalen Travis, the offensive tackle from Iowa State at 161, I think he's visited every team in the NFL. And there are a lot of teams that think he is, if you're willing to wait 2 years, he could be an absolute dog. 164 is Tez Johnson, the wide receiver from Oregon that we were talking about in the second round. Then he showed up at 154 pounds and ran slow, and everybody forgot about him. And Philadelphia goes, we'll do it because he still gets open, and he can play out of the slot, and we're good with that. And then one of the most popular players in the process, Oklahoma State cornerback Corey Black. I really need to go back in and dive on the tape for him. I had an undraftable grade. When I sent my board to some of the people in the industry that I talked to, that was one of the names that was highlighted of that's a 5th-round pick all day. You need to go back and watch him because you were not seeing him the right way. Philadelphia had a top 30 visit with him as well, so I think there's a great possibility that he could be an Eagle.
All right. Is that it? No, we got one more. 168.
Corey Black was 168.
Okay.
Oh, I missed one. I did miss one. Jonas Sanker is the safety.
Okay.
Jonas Sanker from Virginia. He's a developmental safety. Safety gets so bad that it's really hard to find guys that you're going to jump up and down about. I apologize. I put 168 down twice.
Not a problem.
When you have this many numbers and this many names, it's easy to do. On our way out, we do have a super chat to get to before we get out of here.
All right.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
It's from our resident Canadan who will be joining us for the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He said, breaking news, the Montreal Canadiens are bringing forward Ivan Demidov from Russia, and now I have made you read breaking hockey news. You can subscribe to Great North Sports for more hockey.
Yes, indeed. We encourage you to do so. If hockey is your thing, then David Smith is your guy. Check him out at Great North Sports. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll have more A-plus mock drafts for you on tomorrow's show as we count down the days to the 2025 NFL Draft up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Have a great evening. We'll see you then.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
It's 68.8 yesterday, 68 degrees and 0.8 inches of rainfall. Now the colder air coming in. Sunshine, breezy today, 52. Will not feel like it. Tonight, mainly clear, upper 20s. Are some freeze warnings off to our east. Everybody, though, is going to be at or below freezing. Wednesday, sunshine, near 60. Next chance of showers, Thursday afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows how to help pros save. With the new MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, get exclusive member-only deals and volume discounts on eligible orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms, subject to change.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Living with chronic pain is like trying to get comfortable on a cactus sofa. Nothing feels good. And forget trying to do the things you enjoy this spring. Golfing, hiking, tennis. You're just trying to get by. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Asheville and Greenville are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. They've already treated tens of thousands of patients around the country with regenerative treatments that help calm that debilitating joint pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. The consultation is totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now at 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics.
Harbor Freight knows time is money, so for our Spring Black Friday sale, we're getting straight to the deals. This weekend, you get 35% off jack stands, 56-inch roll cabs under $800, and 2,300 PSI electric pressure washers under $190. See? Straight to the point, so you can get straight to the savings. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until April 13th, 2025 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
Welcome to Harvest Farms.
All right, so we're going to do the West tomorrow, the North on Thursday, and the South on Friday.
Waiting for you. Where the fields
that
are
sounds
filled
good to you?
with flavorful delights.
Sounds good to me.
Bite
10-4. All right, I'll get it all set up. You need anything else from me?
This is a place of affordable organic adventure.
No, sir, I don't believe it do.
Because I'm not going to lie to you. There's a great possibility that I'm going to go take about a 2-hour nap.
Harvest.
Let's do it.
I think my body has officially just gone, this is the end of the road for you.
At Parks.
You can go no further.
Parks Community.
Yes, you must sleep.
And the entire team.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you in the morning.
Who converted
All right, cool. See you.
Into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.